Welcome to FTFN Network. Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor, beyond excited here to bring you something that nobody else has brought you, bringing you the top NFL influencers on YouTube. And I'm telling you guys, I'm excited. We got a great show here for you on our premiere. We've got Chris Johnson coming on here. He's coming on mid-show. We've got all the top influencers here for you. We've got the Steelers guy. We've got the Patriots guy. We've got the Philly guy on FTFN Network. Make sure you guys head on over, guys, to FTFNnetwork.com and follow the page. Bookmark the page for all your NFL news and analysis. Again, I'm beyond excited here for this first ever live stream, bringing you the top influencers, real people giving real advice. Finally, a voice the sports fans deserve. Feel free to chat in the comments, guys. Keep it clean, keep it professional, keep it real. Represent your team. If you're a Hawks fan, let's hear it. If you're a Steelers fan, let's hear it in the comments, guys. This is the first ever fan-to-fan stream. Real people giving advice. So we're going to start off here. I've got a list of players. We're going to be asking the players questions. We're going to ask Chris Johnson the player questions, but we're also going to be asking our influencers questions about NFL players, about their teams, everything. So we're going to start off with our first guest here, and he represents on FTFN the Steelers. And I want to introduce here, guys, Chiseled Adonis. What is going on, Chiseled? Representing the Steelers. What's up?
What's going on, man? I'm happy to be here for the launch. I'm excited for what we're going to take over out here in sports media, man.
I'm beyond excited, man. You're looking good representing the Steelers. Real quickly here, tell us a bit about your brand here. You are a YouTube representative. You got a massive following on YouTube. How long have you been at this, man?
Man, it's been about 4.5 years. It's been a long journey. I'm content creator on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Also, I'm a stand-up comedian as well in these streets, grabbing these mics, making people laugh all over the place, man. I'm excited, and I've been a Pittsburgh Steelers fan since 2000. I've been representing them on social media for the last 4.5 years from day one.
I'm excited to have you on. And again, guys, FTFNnetwork.com. You can find them on our page under Steelers, get a lot of information. So really, one of the main reasons I wanted to create this is because I wanted to create a place where people can come and get real advice from real people, no white collar bullshit. And Chiseled, I want some real advice for you. I'm going to ask you, like, we're not hearing too much in regards to training camp, in regards to football and the Steelers. Do you have any inside information at all in regards to training camp? Who's really shining? Is Deontay Johnson shining? How's Big Ben's shoulder doing, or elbow? Like, what is going on in Steelers camp right now? Any inside info at all?
Well, first and foremost, the biggest news is about Big Ben, because if there was one person who we needed last year, it had to be Big Ben. And now, hearing the news of what they're seeing in training camp, he's probably looking as healthy as he's ever been. And then in the running backs room, James Conner came back in the best shape of his life. Juju Smith-Schuster, he's back and he's healthy as well. Pittsburgh's secondary is looking like a great cohesive unit. All cylinders are being fired right now. Things are looking sensational in Steelers camp right now.
I'm excited to see them. I'm a big Deontay guy. Is the hype real with Deontay? I just heard Tomlin say something along the line of Deontay has made such a good transition physically from year one to year two. He's looking like a monster. Is this true? Do you know anything about Deontay stepping up? And could he be the wide receiver one? I'm really curious to hear your input on that.
Oh, the wide receiver one, I truly believe on paper, he might just put up those numbers. It will be very similar to what we saw with Antonio Brown in his second year when he was getting it done and went to the Pro Bowl as a special teams guy, but you could not, deny his production on the offensive side of the ball as well. Deontay is going to be all over the field. We're going to have him in the slot. We're going to have him outside. And with Juju returning, going back to his natural position, playing in that slot position, I expect to see Deontay get a ton of balls his way. I see him getting no less than 80 receptions this year, and he's going to be well over 1,000 yards, and I can guarantee you that.
I love them, and we got you, and we're going to try to get everybody in for about 7 minutes. Today's show, guys, I want to introduce as many ambassadors. Not every ambassador can make it today. We got a bunch of them. I think we got like 20 ambassadors, every team almost represented today. So we got a couple more minutes with you. I'm going to keep diving into some questions. Another player that I'm just extremely infatuated with, man, I don't know what it is, man, especially for fantasy football. You know me, my fantasy. I'm really attracted to, for a fantasy aspect, to Chase Claypool, man. We saw Martavis Bryant endorse my brand years ago when I first got into the industry. Good guy, Martavis, years ago. Unfortunately, his stint in the NFL didn't last as long. But Chase Claypool, man, What are your thoughts? Could he boom? Is he going to be a boom or bust, volatile game by game, or could he be a factor every single game?
I believe it's going to be very similar to what we saw last year with DK Metcalf with the Seattle Seahawks, where it's going to be a week-by-week progression to where he continually gets better. We're talking about a guy who's 6'3", 6'4", can run a 4.4, fast, blazing speed, and Big Ben likes to stretch the ball down the field vertically. We saw the past maybe 6 years of him having to force the ball to Antonio Brown. This is going to be the first time that Big Ben actually can spread the field to everybody, and nobody's really going to him in the huddle every single play demanding the football. And with somebody like Chase Claypool, the way that Pittsburgh's offense works, we can move him around to not only is he outside, we can have him in a slot trips bunch sort of situation to where he can get open. Pittsburgh is very notorious for being able to have their wide receivers come in and immediately produce. So I expect this guy to have big numbers. And if you don't pick him up on your fantasy team, you're going to be missing out. This guy's going to produce. And I think in the red zone, Pittsburgh's going to get him the football quick and early. First down, you won't see handoffs to James Conner. I think you're going to see fades to the corner to Chase Claypool. I think he's going to have no less than 8 touchdowns this year.
I love him. All right, we got one more minute here. Quickly, your division, are you guys going to finish on top? And what do you see the record being? Really curious to hear your feedback on your record. End of the season, are they going to make the playoffs? Are they Super Bowl bound? Really good prediction on the outlook for the Steelers in 1 minute or less.
Well, I'd have to say this much. As for the division, it's going to be a toss-up between Pittsburgh and Baltimore. I do believe that Pittsburgh will make a comeback. They will make the playoffs, bar none. There is no way that they won't be able to finish number 1 or 2 in their division. As for how I'm feeling about the record, I think no less than 11 wins. Pittsburgh has a very favorable schedule this year, and there's only a few games that seem as if they could be a bit ticky-tacky. You're looking at Buffalo on the road. That one can go either way. Dallas on the road. That can go either way. Or Baltimore with the split. Maybe Tennessee here or there, but I expect Pittsburgh to be back into the playoffs, and they're for sure a Super Bowl contender because it's the first time in quite some time that Pittsburgh fans don't have to walk into the season concerned if the defense going to show up and play well. They've got themselves a solidified top 5 defense in the league. They've led the league in sacks the last 3 years. Blitzburgh is back. The Steel Curtain might just be a 2.0 this year, and that offense with Big Ben firing, man, you better watch out because the Steelers are back.
Nice. Well, thanks for coming on, Chisel. You can find him at, how do they find you on YouTube? But either way, go to Fan to Fan Network under Steelers. You'll find all his YouTube content there, and you can follow him there on social as well, man. Chisel, thanks for coming on. Great insight. Appreciate you coming on, man.
It's my pleasure, man. Anytime, every single week.
All right, man. Thanks. Representing Steelers, proud and true. All right, let's move on here. The next guy, guys, we're going to bring on here is, it's really interesting, man. I'm not really a fan of the Eagles, but hey, we got to represent them here. The next guy I'm bringing on here is none other than Philly Take RB. What is going on, Philly? Tell us a little bit about yourself. We're going to have some Philadelphia Eagles questions for you. Again, I'm not a fan of the Eagles, so you're going to have to stick up for them because I'm going to rip into them. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? Appreciate everybody. Appreciate the opportunity with all these great content creators. Let me tell you, Philadelphia is a passionate sports city. Philadelphia, you will get it every single week, every Sunday. I represent the Philadelphia Eagles, the Sixers, the Phillies, the damn Flyers, for crying out loud. All Philadelphia sports. This passionate sports city, it has been in my blood since I had come up as a young child. It's bred into you. That is what you get with Philadelphia sports, and it's all respect. A lot of people don't like us, but hey, like Jason Kelsey said, man, really they hate us because they ain't us, man. We are all we got. We are all we need, baby.
You're a crazy fan, man. I heard Philly fans are the nuts, craziest. But listen to this. Some guy in the comments right now, this may rub you the wrong way here. Goff greater than Wentz. What are your thoughts? What do you got to say to this guy?
Look, it's outright ridiculous. Look. This season and going forward will hinge on Carson Wentz. I'm tired. Yes, I'm exhausted of the Carson Wentz disrespect. Year in, year out, this guy has put up the constant numbers. This guy has shown in 2017, he had an MVP caliber season. He was one of the main reasons the Eagles were even able to get to the Super Bowl. Last year was the first quarterback ever to throw for 4,000 plus yards without a receiver going over 500. I'm talking about Best Buy, Wawa employees. That is who Carson Wentz was throwing the ball to. And when it was time to come up big, he took down the Dallas Cowboys on primetime and led the Philadelphia Eagles to the playoffs.
I'm hearing more comments here from the same guy. Maybe you should tell him to go fuck himself. Rosen is greater than Carson Wentz as well. So clearly a Philly hater we got in the chat right now, which is fun. It gets you guys riled up. I like it.
Hey man,
Let's move on from that.
Josh Rosen, I could outplay Josh Rosen. Come on, man.
All right, I got a couple questions for you. One thing that's been buzzing a lot in the media, and I'm a big fan. I love the talent. What do you think of Miles Sanders coaching? Who has said he's going to get 300 carries? Is he going to be the man there, or are they going to buzzkill his fantasy value and bring in a free agent, maybe a Freeman or someone like that? Is Miles Sanders going to be the guy? And if so, will he perform on a top 5, top 10 production level in regards to rushing and receptions? What's the deal with Miles Sanders? Can you tell us?
I'm tired of Miles Sanders being slept on as well. The guy in his rookie year, over 1,300 all-purpose yards in just 11 starts. Miles Sanders is going to rise into that rank of the top 10 running backs this year. Miles Sanders will absolutely be on his game. He will allow that Philadelphia Eagles offense to be so dynamic, do so many different things, especially with speed on the outside. You can pound it with Miles Sanders on the ground, or you can throw it to him out of the backfield. He's going to contribute in so many ways. Now, the Eagles do like to run with a committee, and there will be 2-3 solid backs in here. We might go out and sign a bruiser in free agency, but I think we have undrafted guys in-house like Holyfield, like Michael Warren, that will get a chance. But overall, Miles Sanders is going to carry a lot of brunt for this Eagles offense and will be a key to the offense being one of the best in 2020.
Yeah, man, I'm a big Miles Sanders guy this year, as long as he becomes and stays the man. All right, we're going to wrap this up with Philly in a second here, but I got a couple more questions for you real quick. Team record, how do these guys finish this year, especially in their division? Are they going to finish on top of their division? Unbiased. Try to keep this unbiased. How are they realistically going to look this season? Really curious to hear your thoughts on that.
Overall, I think given the past couple years, what we were able to do despite the numerous injuries, I think we've gotten better on both sides of the ball this offseason. I really think this division is a 2-team race between the Eagles and the Cowboys, as we all know. But honestly, I do believe the Philadelphia Eagles can come out and win the NFC East, become the first repeat champs since 2004 to do so. It's been very hard over the years, but given what we have, given the fact that we are the only team with the same coach and the same philosophy returning this season, I think the Eagles have a good chance to do it. But I do think somehow, some way, they will find their way into the playoffs. But overall, I think they're going to win the division.
All right. Anything else we need to talk about? Any QB battles, RB battles, wide receiver battles? Anything we should worry about? Anyone stepping up? Wentz obviously secured his job. We know that. Miles Sanders is the guy. Is anyone else going to come in? Scott? Anyone else going to come in and take a job from anybody? Who's the wide receiver one? Depth chart wise, everything looking good. Is Rigor going to be the guy? What's the deal with depth chart? Everyone looks pretty solid the way it is out as it is.
Yep, I like exactly how our offense is panning out. Overall, our wide receiver will be our biggest question because of the lack of experience. But we went out and got Carson Wentz some ballers. Jalen Reagor, a guy who slid up draft boards late, obviously was, projected as a second, third round pick. But I think Reagor is that speedy, explosive, and a guy that can open up down the field. I think he's going to have the most catches on the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm expecting an impressive rookie year from Jalen Reagor, 700-800 yards, maybe 6 touchdowns. I think Reagor is going to step up and be the guy for years to come. And if Djax can stay healthy, well, let me tell you, Carson Wentz is going to have a lot to play with this year.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, man. Make sure you guys go to fantoFanNetwork.com. Under the Philly tab, the Eagles tab, you can find RB with Philly here, man. Thank you for being on. Philly Take with RB. Appreciate you. So let's move on here, guys. Now, I got to get somebody else here. The guy I'm bringing in, guys, is Patriots Global is going to come in a moment here. I'm just queuing him up. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Patriots Global is on cue. We're going to talk Patriots here, and I got a lot of question marks surrounding the Patriots, and there's a lot of questions in regards to Cam Newton. There's a lot of question marks in regards to a lot of people in regards to the Patriots. Again, Cam Newton being the big question mark, and I'm really curious to see how their record is. And we lost. There's Patriots Global. I'm going to find him here right now. And we're going to roll on to him. Let's go. What is going on? Patriots Global in the house, representing, obviously, the Patriots. We got a lot of questions for you. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, buddy? Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you. You're representing the Patriots on Fan to Fan Network, and I got some questions for you. Obviously, a lot of changes in regards to that offense, in regards to that team this year. You got a huge fan base to represent at Fan to Fan Network for the New England Patriots. My biggest question comes to Cam Newton. Is this going to be an easy transition? Is it going to be eased into the offense? Is he going to be the starter? Is Stidham the guy out of the gate? That is the biggest question going in. So if you can answer that, what is going on with the Cam Newton situation?
Yeah, so I mean, look, Bill Belichick said it himself, this is a situation where the best guy is going to get the job. Bill Belichick is never a guy that's going to come in with a free agent, a signing, a trade, a draft selection, anything like that, and be like, okay, you are the immediate starter. Never did that, not with Tom Brady, not with Gronk, not with some of the best Patriots players to ever play the game. Now, are we all expecting Cam Newton to win that job? Yeah, of course, it's Cam Newton. He's a veteran. But at the same time, if Stidham comes out and he's performing much better than any of these other guys, Hoyer, Lewerke, Newton, any of these other guys, then he could get that starting job. But I would say for right now, it's going to be Cam Newton just for that sense of, okay, he has veteran experience. That's what Bill Belichick's looking forward to. They really want to ease Stidham into the situation. But I could really also see this being a situation where in September, they're still kind of figuring out what's happening with the quarterback situation, kind of using that as the preseason that we didn't get this August. Maybe having some games with Newton, having some games with Stidham, and then ultimately seeing what the best option is at the quarterback situation following September.
Good insight. Now, I'm really suspect about your receivers. What's going on with the receivers? I know you drafted a tight end or a couple tight ends. The guy I'm looking at for fantasy football as a sleeper tight end is Devin Asiasi. What are your thoughts on him and your receiving options this year? Are you guys going to be okay at the wide receiver position?
Yeah, so look, it's a tough scenario, and I think that a big reason that we were struggling last season with these receivers is not because the lack of talent, and I think that is something that is not understood at all, is the fact that a lot of people think the Patriots don't have a good receiver. Why aren't they going out and making a trade for AJ Green or re-signing Demaryius Thomas or whatnot? The thing is, they have this talent, but they were injured. Julian Edelman should have been out the rest of the season. Mohamed Sanu, a high ankle sprain. You had Gunnar Olszewski also out. So you had N'Keal Harry also, who missed more than half the season due to injury, coming in very late into the process. So everybody just extremely beat up. And I think that is the reason that you didn't see the New England Patriots receivers really going out and performing well. But Mohamed Sanu, after the season he had, he's completely determined. This is something coming from him. He even has a wide receiver trainer living with him now so that he can actually get up to par and make sure that every single day he's in that game mentality. N'Keal Harry, he's looking much better, did the same type of thing this offseason, trying to get better. So I think receiver-wise, having these guys healthy, it is going to be tremendous for the New England Patriots, although they didn't necessarily come in and make big additions. As for the tight ends, I would say that, look, that's probably one of the weakest positions for the New England Patriots. But like you mentioned, Devin Asiasi, the Patriots could have arguably gotten a steal in this guy. A lot of people, I think, are underlooking him.
Right.
And since he's come in, he's been doing some really great things, especially with Cam Newton. He's been going on and working out already with Cam Newton, Jarrett Stidham, before training camp had even started. So there's a lot of expectations for him. And so far from what we've heard from training camp, he is the guy. Even beat Patriots starting safety Devin McCourty on a play, and that's a big deal.
I'm interested to see how the offense gels and how the whole team offense without Brady is going to be a big year, big transition for you guys. Again, guys, if you guys are in the chat here, all the people listening, feel free to ask some questions to the ambassadors. I'll try to field a couple questions, no guarantees, but if you want to leave your questions in the chat to these guys, if there's time permitting, we'll try to get some questions answered. But again, due to limited time today, we got Chris Johnson coming on the next half an hour or so, CJ2K. So we're going to try to get through everybody, but leave some questions. Before I let you go here, quickly, what is the record here? How do you guys finish on top? First of all, are you guys even going to finish on top of that division? Because I do like the Bills this year.
I mean, it's a tough situation. Me and my man Dan, we were kind of going back and forth with this earlier, and I said, I'm going to give it to the Bills. Then we signed Cam Newton. So it's up in the air. It's definitely between, I would say, the Bills and the Patriots. Who I'm going to give it to, it's a tough situation. If we get a healthy Cam Newton, I'm gonna have to say the Patriots, but if we don't, it's gonna be the Bills. But either way, head to head, with the addition of Cam Newton, I'm having this going between a 10-6, 11-5 type of record here for the Patriots.
I feel that too. All right, so make sure you guys go to fan2fannetwork.com, bookmark it, and then you can catch Patriots Global under the Patriots section. All right, guys, we're moving on to one of my personal favorite teams, and you guys know it if you guys follow my content. You guys know who my favorite team is. It's the Colts. We've got Derek Larger here representing the Colts. Let's go, baby. Colts time. Any Colts fans in the house, make some noise in the comments. What's going on, Derek?
How's it going, Joe? Really glad to be here. Glad to be finally going live on FTFN to talk about all these teams, all of this, and I'm ready. If it is anything to do with my podcast name, I'm ready to bring the juice. Let's go.
Yeah, make sure you guys follow. You guys are available where? iTunes, Spotify. Where can we find Bring the Juice podcast?
We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, everywhere. You guys can find us anywhere that you listen to your normal podcasts. Bring the Juice Colts podcast. You guys will find us anywhere.
Now, when I was looking for ambassadors to have come on to Fan, I was looking for the guys that are the most passionate, right? And you are spewing out passion for the Colts. It's insane. I love your passion, love your enthusiasm. Let's get to some questions here because I've got some questions. Even being a Colts fan, I'm not totally immersed as much as you are. And that's why I love Fan Network, because you're getting that total immersion. You're getting that direct access from real people out there, real fan ambassadors. So I got a question for you. And what I'm hearing a lot is this Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack committee battle. And it's really going to affect us for fantasy football. So what the hell is going on? I heard Marlon Mack is going to start. Then they're going to ride the hot hand. My prediction is that Taylor is going to be the hot hand. He's going to take that job. Really like to hear your feedback, feet on the street. What is going on with the RB by committee? Is Taylor going to be a 3-down back eventually? What's happening?
Yeah, so Marlon Mack is going to be the starter. Frank Reich confirmed that. But Nick Sirianni and Frank Reich said they are going to ride the hot hand. Whoever is running better behind that offensive line as the season goes along is going to get the majority of the snaps. So if you are a guy that's in a deep league and you think that Jonathan Taylor in a fantasy league that's really deep can be something, stack on him later. You can get him a little later in most fantasy leagues because this guy is going to rack up a lot of yards. I think he's going to be mainly our guy in the middle of the field who's going to get those chunk yards that we need to get first downs. And you could see him in the red zone as well, because I mean, the dude is huge, 6 feet tall, 230 pounds. He is a stud. He has great burst of speed, has tremendous power. I'm going to shock a lot of people with this comparison, but he reminds me of Adrian Peterson. The more I watch the game film, the way he hits the hole when he finds one and that burst of speed. And anytime you try to arm tackle this guy, good luck. It's not happening. He's just tremendous in his body control and yards after contact. I mean, this guy's some of the best that college has ever produced. This guy is phenomenal. I can't wait to see him do that. But I am excited to see Marlon Mack at least be the official starter to start. But who knows how much Jonathan Taylor is going to get it going forward.
Marlon Mack's just not a guy that excites me. Years to wow me, and I'm not wowed. I think he had 1,000-yard receiving season, or rushing season, I should say, a couple times, right? I think he's had a couple good seasons.
Last season had 1,100 yards. There was somebody on Twitter the other day that was saying that, Marlon Mack had a subpar season, which is really funny to think about because I don't view an 1,100-yard season and a 9-touchdown season in 14 games, and 2 of those games, which he didn't play because he broke his hand, is a subpar season. I don't view that as a subpar season. It may not be the best season we've ever seen, but it was certainly a good season. There is no denying that.
All right, to keep on schedule here, guys, we got to move on. One last question here. Michael Pittman, real deal, and could he emerge as the wide receiver 1 there? Is he that good?
The Colts fans really like him. They want him to be the next big guy. They want him to be the next great Colt wide receiver. You got Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, T.Y. Hilton right now is going to be in there. Michael Pittman, a lot of people think he can be that guy. Great burst of speed, tall, really good body control, never drops the ball. I like what I see in this kid, and if he stays healthy, this is a new wide receiver for us going forward.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you. That's Bring the Juice podcast here. Appreciate you being here. All right, so let's move on here, guys. I'm excited. I don't know if you guys are excited, but we are talking. You guys know what we're talking. We're talking Buffalo Bills. Buffalo. Sorry about that, Dan. Did I say that out loud? Buffalo? I mean, my bad.
Yeah. Hey, man.
That's not cool. Not cool.
And so you're starting with the shots already. But one thing I will say, I'm absolutely pumped that this stream began with Patriots Global, and he was openly admitting that the Buffalo Bills were going to win the AFC East. And
wow.
That is music to my ears. Makes my job so much easier.
You know, I can't rip on you guys. I really like the team. The addition of Diggs there, Singletary, Moss. You got that backfield set up. Josh Allen could be a franchise guy. I'm actually excited. I never thought I'd say this. I haven't said this since like 1992 when Thurman Thomas and Kelly were there, or whatever year that was. But I'm excited to watch the Buffalo Bills this year. Do you agree? Like they could be high octane this year.
And so, hey, honestly, like right to agree with you. Like one of my first memories in life was my dad screaming at the television when we heard the announcer say wide right, it's over. So it's definitely been something that Bills fans have deserved for quite a long time. I mean, we were in that purgatory, right? Where we weren't good enough so to make that next step into the playoffs, but we also weren't bad enough, right, in order for us to get some game-changing talent in the NFL draft. And I mean, it really needs to go with just this front office and the coaching staff has been able to do in the past 3 years. And finally, the city of Buffalo has a football team that they can be proud of.
Yeah, man, I'm beyond excited here for you. Now, Zach Moss, this is for fantasy. Obviously, I always got to think fantasy. I believe it.
We were so pissed when we picked him up.
I was pissed because I was high on Singletary, but I actually like him. But I'm going to stay away from both these guys unless Singletary, God forbid, gets hurt, whatever it is. Moss mode saying he's going to run over. I don't know what his quote was exactly, but something along the line of, I'm going to run over NFL players. I'm the next Marshawn Lynch. I'm Moss mode. Is he that good?
Yes, most definitely. Now, so the Buffalo Bills are definitely transitioning to a running back by committee. Right. And I'm pretty sure his exact quote was tackling him would need to be a business decision. And Zach Moss, let's put it this way. He is that bowling ball running back that the Buffalo Bills needed. Don't get me wrong. I was super thankful for what Frank Gore was able to do for us last year, but this is about to be completely on steroids. Now for fantasy owners, and so I still think that Devin Singletary is going to be the predominant back and Zach Moss is going to be more of a situational running back, such as third down and goal line, fourth and short. But I mean, he's going to be that guy that's really going to be punishing the defensive line and really open up Devin Singletary's game as well.
Right. No, I'm excited. And Diggs. Now, one thing about Diggs here, yeah, he's the true wide receiver one, but there is the rapport with Brown and Beasley. Allen has come out and said that months ago. Is Diggs going to get, how many targets is Diggs going to see? Is he going to be the volume guy? For fantasy, I need him to see 150 targets. I don't know if he's going to get that. So as a two-part question before I let you go here, is Diggs going to get the volume? And number two, is Josh Allen going to throw more this season?
Yeah. And so if people watch my videos, then they know that my mantra has been run the damn ball, right? Like I have always wanted the Buffalo Bills to be a run first type of offense. As far as Stephon Diggs is concerned, you're definitely going to see a lot of targets this year. My ballpark estimate is going to be around 120 to 130. But do keep in mind, as far as John Brown is concerned, he's probably going to be the receiver that's going to be targeted much more during the first couple of games. Because say that I was a gambling man, you would assume that defenses are going to be so obsessed with covering Stephon Diggs, that's going to completely let John Brown have a field day, especially since he'll be going up against CB2s for the first time in just about a year. Stephon Diggs is definitely going to be that receiver that's going to eclipse 1,000 yards. John Brown most likely will as well. But Josh Allen is definitely going to have his hands full as far as the mouths to feed this season. That's 110%.
All right, Dan, thanks for coming on here. FanToFanNetwork.com. You can find him under the Bills tab. Appreciate you being on, Dan. Talking the Buffalo Bills. He's gone now, so he can't even defend himself anymore. All right, next guy we've got here. I'm excited to have him on. His name is Broshmo. Now, Broshmo, we got to introduce this guy. He is the tool of all trades, or what do you want to say? You do everything, don't you, for sports?
Yeah, I do a little bit of everything. I cover draft, fantasy, and just in general football news.
All right, so you give us a team, we'll cover it for you. What team do you want to talk about? Since you know every team very well, what team do you want to discuss today?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, perfect.
I figure since I'm a Dolphins fan, I might as well keep it in the state. But I'm actually pretty high on Jacksonville this year. And by high, I mean like I see like a 7-win season. That's how high I am on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right. So Jacksonville, the guy I'm high on is Shark. We're all talking offensive players here. Shark, Minshew, is this going to be the real connection? Can these guys get it done?
Yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting though with Jay Gruden's offense. It's going to a West Coast system, so it's going to be implementing more of the short to intermediate passing game opposed to Shark. I mean, he made his money downfield. I don't think they're going to go away from that. Minshew, despite his noodle of an arm, he was very successful downfield. He had 5 touchdowns on passes of 20 yards or more. And I think that went for almost over 700 yards, which is actually very good for really any quarterback. But yeah, no, I think he should be fine. The player I'm most interested in is who they drafted in the second round, Laviska Shenault.
Yeah. He's more of a gadget player. I'm not really excited about him. I'm looking at like a glorified Tavon Austin. Will he get the volume though? I don't know.
He won't get the volume, at least initially. There's rumors in camp that he is going to be heavily used. I wouldn't take that for really a grain of salt, but something that this passing game really neglected last year was the screen game. They only had like 300 yards off screens.
Right.
Like they were very terrible. And that's kind of what Shenault does. He doesn't have a big route tree right now, but just get the ball in this guy's hands. I mean, back in 2019 or 2018, he led all receivers in broken tackles. Like I could see him getting somewhere in the like vicinity of like 40 to 50 targets this year, but you're about right. He's going to be used as a gadget player from the get-go.
Somebody in the comments saying that you're on weed. Are you high on weed? Why would you guys say that about him? What has he done that's so wrong? Broshmore, they're ripping you up in the comments for some reason.
I'm too laid back, man. I'm too laid back.
Maybe it's the fact that you're laid back. I'm
not coming in with the fire. I'm not shouting and screaming.
All right, before we let you go, Broshmo, where do we find you on Fan to Fan? You're on the Around the League page, are you not? Or you're on the Pro Football Draft page?
I'm on the Pro Football Draft. That's kind of like my bread and butter. That's why I brought up Laviska Shenault Jr. I love the draft. I've been covering the draft for like over 10 years now. So yeah, you can find me there. You can find me on YouTube at Broshmo.
Now they're sticking up for you. Another guy is saying, "Let's go, Broshmo." So you got some fans. There's some people making some noise here for you.
No one said the weed comment was a negative thing. You're assuming that.
Exactly. One last question. Leonard Fournette, is he going to play the entire season? That's a big question here for Jacksonville.
Yeah, he better. I mean, they got him on what is that this is the last year with him. They're going to run him into the ground. I don't think he'll see nearly the passing volume.
Yeah.
Since they brought in Chris Thompson. So
I'm talking durability, though. I'm concerned about his durability. We've seen this guy have hamstring issues in the past. Is he going to stay healthy in your opinion? I know you can't predict injuries. Nobody can, but I want to get your opinion here. Yes or no? Over or under 12 games?
I think over. I think they'll run him into the ground, but I think he'll be durable, and he's going to go into free agency with kind of like, I guess, this seemingly clean bill of health.
All right, Broshmo, thank you for being here. Let's move on here. We are going to a team that I like here, and I'm a big fan here of the Titans. The guy I'm talking about here is, and I got to find him here if I can pull him up, and we're having Zoom issues here. There we go. Got him. One sec here. Titans, guys, the Tennessee Titans. We are bringing in, guess who it is? It is Mark from Titan Upload, right? Is this right? Do I have it right, Mark?
You got it right, man. You got it right, Joe.
And why do I like you so much? Because I love Derrick Henry. Man, what are we expect? Now, I was higher on Derrick Henry last year. Am I going to be as high on him this year? Is there going to be a decline? What is the deal? Is he going to face more stacked boxes now that they're aware of him? What's the story with Derrick Henry? I got to get right to the guy.
I'm telling you what, Ryan Tannehill is going to be the key to all this. But last year we faced the stacks, and they still couldn't stop us. Yeah, the Chiefs might say they stopped us in that AFC Championship game. You go back and look, third quarter. No. The Chiefs played keep away from the Titans. So who would have thought a team with Mahomes is playing keep away from the Tennessee Titans because they're afraid of what Derrick Henry's done to the Chiefs all along. He runs all over them. So we're really happy, excited. But right tackle is going to be the main concern for the Titans this year.
Is that going to affect him like drastically, or how's that going to affect him?
Well, the left side, Saffold and Lawan, I mean, it took a while. Lawan had to sit out the first 4 games last year because, he got in some trouble. But I think that line's starting to gel to the left side. But, Isaiah Wilson, we drafted him late. And, there was a lot of skepticism. Should we have picked him? Went towards a cornerback. But I'm telling you, the guy's massive. He's like 6'7", over 300 pounds. And him in front of Derrick Henry, that's going to be music to our ears in Music City.
Is there anything in training camp? Again, I just find that the mainstream media is a little silent on this, and I don't understand why. Maybe because people can't go to the world situation. You can't go to as many camps. I get it. So that's why we're here diving in. I know you're totally immersed in the Titans more than anybody on the planet. Is there anything we should be aware of from training camp that we're not being aware of? The connection maybe with A.J. Brown and Tannehill, how are they looking? Is there any inside information or any little golden nuggets you can share with us?
Well, the big story is Clowney. Are we getting him or are we not? I mean, that's like over the camp. That's the cloud, right? So there's no new information there, but Corey Davis, we got to write him down because it's his last year on, they didn't pick up the 5th-year deal and they really didn't target him a lot over the last couple of years. He's had an injury here or there. And of course, he was my pick to click for this year, and he hasn't even made it on the practice field yet. So that's a big concern because A.J. Brown going up against the number 1 corner. I'll remember this again with the Saints. It was late in the year, 1 catch, 7 yards, and that was even without Derrick Henry.
Right.
So there is some concerns there for sure.
I like Tannehill. I'm really high on Tannehill this year. I'm wishing nothing but the best for him and that offense. It's going to be exciting to watch. So I appreciate you coming on. Anything record? Just quickly, your record this year. What are your thoughts?
We were 9-7 4 straight years, but if you watched last year, and I know many of you did in playoff time, this team's for real and we got everybody back. So I'm thinking at least the low 10-6, more like 11-5. Tighten up.
I appreciate it, Mark. Thanks for coming on here. Now we're going to move on here and we're going to bring in, if I can get this going here, we're going to get Seattle Seahawks. What is going on? We're going to bring him on is Norb Cam from the C. And look at him. He's in the press conference room. Where are you? Are you in Seattle headquarters there? What's going on?
Oh, yeah, baby. Representing the Seahawks, baby. Go Hawks. Yeah, for all those Seahawks fans in the house, thanks for watching. But, yeah, man, repping the Pacific Northwest. Excited, man. Every year, always exciting for the Seattle Seahawks.
I appreciate you, man, coming on. A big question is here, a lot of news buzz. Antonio Brown, has that cooled off or is he going to end up with the Seahawks? What's going on?
I think it's cooled off a little bit. I think right now they're not closing the door on it, but I think right now they've got other concerns, to be honest. I mean, Antonio Brown's going to be suspended for a while, and I think right now they've got bigger concerns, particularly on the defensive front. That's right now a huge issue for Seattle, a lot bigger issue than Antonio Brown. So I don't think that's going to be much of a topic of discussion.
Is DK Metcalf emerging as the wide receiver one there, or is it still going to be the Lockett-Russell connection? What happens there?
Oh, I think he's going to step up as the number 1 guy. He had a phenomenal year last year. It could have arguably been a rookie of the year, almost 1,000 yards in his first season. And this year, I think he's going to be that much better. Him and Russell have been hanging out during the entire offseason. They were hanging out in Mexico. Russell was teaching him how to swim or something like that. So these guys, he's taking him under his wing like a little brother. And they did that last offseason, and his rookie year was huge. And I think this year is going to be even better. He's going to be that much more. He's already fast. He's got a huge leaping ability, as we've seen in some of those games, particularly in the playoffs. And he's just going to be 1 year smarter, that much more familiar with Russell Wilson. And I think sky's the limit, man. So I'm super excited about DK Metcalf.
I'm excited about him too. A little bit of a buzzkill in fantasy. I was high on Carson a little bit. Not so high because of durability, but that's been an issue. Carlos Hyde, how much work do you see him getting this season? Is he going to be a thorn in the side of Carson, or are they going to run Carson as normal and Hyde is there for insurance? What's the story with that committee battle?
I think right now Carson's the number 1 guy. It's going to be, I think we learned from last year that Seattle needs depth We had no running backs at the end of the year, even when we started out with 3, and all 3 of them went down. And so I think Seattle just saw to that and realized we need to make sure that we have more than just 2 or 3 in the stable. So right now they got Rashad Penny, who was the number 2 back. He's on the PUP list, isn't going to play for the first few games. So Carlos Hyde is there, I think, for definitely in the number 2 position. I think Chris Carson definitely gets the bulk of the carries. I mean, he's had a couple of over 1,000-yard seasons 2 years in a row. Yeah, he had his fumbling issues. He had the injury bug late in the year last year, but he's playing for, that next contract, and I think he's going to be motivated. I'm counting on him to be the workhorse to get things done. But Carlos Hyde, just to give him a breather and to make sure that we got some extra depth just in case he gets dinged up. But I think Carson's the man. I think he gets over 1,000 yards rushing again this year. Yeah, I think the upside is huge motivation for him to have a breakout huge year this year.
All right, Norb Kev, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate you. We're going to move on here. I'm going to try to get him in here. Yes, you guys have been waiting, and I think I've got him. I'm just going to cue him up here. Chris Johnson has arrived. He has shown up here in the room, if I can find him here. There he is. I'm going to put him on. One sec here. He's just loading up, guys. So Chris Johnson is going to be joining us now. If you guys don't know who Chris Johnson is, you've been living under a rock. So we're going to bring him on right now. Chris Johnson, what is going on? Thank you for being on, man. What's happening? We just got to get your volume. I think your volume is on. You just got to, I think you're muted. Yeah, you came in muted, so you just got to unmute yourself. We're just having a technical difficulty. We get Chris Johnson unmuted here, and we'll be good to go. There, I think I hear you. Let me see here. One sec, guys. I'm going to unmute him. Chris, you should be unmuted there. You just got to do something.
There you go. You hear me?
There you go. One sec here. There we go. Oh, what's going on, Chris? Thanks for being on, man. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me, man.
Good. We got 15 minutes with you. We've allotted 15-minute time slot here. So we got some questions. If you guys have any serious questions, professional questions, you can leave them in the comments. I might get to some if they're interesting enough. So, man, thanks for being part of Fan to Fan Network, helping us out here with this premiere. What are you doing now? This is brought to you by your coffee house. Can you let us know about your company, what's going on, shout out the company, where to follow it, and what is going on with your coffee brand?
Oh, everything's going good right now. I just, since I retired, been working on a couple things. I got my coffee brand called Just Love Coffee. We building up. We got a couple locations all over. You go to www.justlovecoffee.com to check out the locations based in Tennessee. I'm currently opening up one down here in Orlando, Florida. It's being well. Hopefully be opening the one in Orlando December, early January. And that's just the Instagram name for that one is Just Love Claremont or whatever. You can go there and check out all the updates for the opening and stuff like that. And you also can go to the website to check out the stores that we have that's in your location.
Yeah, guys, Just Love Claremont on Instagram. If you guys have trouble finding it, just DM me on Instagram at Fantasy Football Counselor. I'll direct you that way. And, he's taking the time to come out, so please support his brand. Go out there. If you're in the area, go out there and grab a coffee. You guys are open there in Orlando, right?
We're not open yet. We're opening in December.
Oh, December. Okay, so follow the page so you guys are up to date on the brand. So one thing I admire about you, aside from the records that you set, and I'm not here to just kiss your ass, and I'm here because you've genuinely done some amazing things on the field, but he's doing some really amazing things off the field as well, and continuing that entrepreneurial journey. Whereas, again, I'm not going to name names, but there has been players that that all they know is football, but he's taken it and leveled up and doing some stuff off the field as well, which is positive, and I appreciate that. So I got some questions here for you. You're going to keep it very brief, keep it really simple here. MVP this year, I'm going to throw this out there. Who is your player that you think is it going to be Pat Mahomes? Is it going to be Lamar Jackson repeat? Is Kyler Murray going to step up? Who is the guy this year that you think, either running back, wide receiver, whatever, that's really going to shine this year in the NFL?
I think it's kind of hard. Like, I would never pick a guy that's not a quarterback, because you know how hard it is for a non-quarterback to win MVP.
Right.
So if I would have to go with somebody, I would say that Mahomes probably would win it.
I think so. I think he has another phenomenal year, man. That guy is in his groove. He is phenomenal talent around him. A lot of speed, a lot of talent. Good running back. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, very exciting this year. All right, going to put you on the spot yet again here. We've got Rookie of the Year candidate. There's so many great rookies this year. And in this case, I think it's a little easier for a running back or a wide receiver to get that spot. Jonathan Taylor, phenomenal talent. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, phenomenal talent. A.J. Dillon, I think he's going to be a backup this year, but he is a guy that could emerge, man. This guy is so talented at the running back position. I'm so excited to see these rookies. Michael Pittman for the Colts. All these guys. Who is kind of, maybe get a couple names that are really standing out to you in regards to talent. Please let us know.
Man, I'm thinking I have to go back with Kansas City again. That young running back that, we had some conversation about this with Damian Williams opting out and stuff like that, and just opening the door up for this rookie. I think him being plugged into that offense, I think he has the best chance at winning Rookie of the Year. That's who I'm going with, hands down. The
upside, the versatility, the pass catching, but will he get enough attempts on the ground?
Yeah, because it's not like it's not like he just going in there and we're talking about any running back. He's already a good running back. He's coming out of college, LSU, good running back, and you plugging him into an offense where he's definitely not going to be the focal point. It's before they worry about him, it's 2, 3, 4 other guys
right
that they have to worry about. And that's why I think he's gonna be Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, the upside is there, the ceiling is there, and again, spreading that field with all those weapons there, Kelsey and everybody. Yeah, 100% agree. Very, very viable.
That's not a bad. Hey, people may sleep, but that's not a bad guy to pick up in your fantasy.
Absolutely, but he's coming off early. It's a hefty investment. You got to invest a late first round pick on him if you want him. So, but I mean, you heard it from Chris Johnson. Upside is there. A couple of questions here. I think there was a question. What was your favorite play ever? Like that you busted off for a run. What was your favorite play?
The stretch outside zone. That's my favorite play ever. Outside zone.
Nice. Can you explain a little bit what happened there? Because maybe some people don't know.
Well, basically, you can run it with a fullback in front of you, or it can be one running back set. And basically, it's outside zone. You step and you're reading. You're going towards either the butt of the tight end, or if there's no tight end, it's the imaginary butt of the tight end. And basically, you read the end. If the end go outside, you cut it up. If the tight end or the tackle get the end reach, you take it outside. But it's basically like they say, it's like the piano.
Right.
Step, you know what I'm saying? The outside finger, that is the tight end. So if he get on reach, you go around, but you read it. You know what I'm saying? This ball can either hit outside, it can hit underneath the tight end, or it can go all the way backside. So you got so many places to take it. So that was my favorite play.
This is a good question here. And again, we're putting you on the spot here, but hey, it makes it interesting. It's going to put you on the spot. Who is the best? There's a tough one. Who is the best running back in the game right now? So your opinion is going to matter here. This is a tough one. We got Saquon, we got CMC, we got Zeke, Henry. Those are my top 4. And again, that order could vary. And I hate to put you on the spot to pick one, but I mean, who is the best running back in the game the way it sits now?
Zeke,
easy one for you?
Easy.
Why is that? I mean, aside from durability, everything, right?
Because you got to think, this is how I look at it. You can't just go and look at it like this guy had a great year or this and that, and he's the best. No. Zeke has been doing this since he got in the league. You like consistency is the key.
Yes.
Not doing this one time, like 3-4 years back to back, you doing this consistently.
Yep.
Consistently. You can't name another guy in the NFL at running back that's active now that has been more consistent as Zeke has been.
I see a lot of CMC. I see a David Johnson there. People picking on me because I'm a huge David Johnson fan. I love him. He honestly,
yeah, you know, I played with DJ. Know what I'm saying? But if we're gonna be real, know what I'm saying? I love DJ to death. But if you want to talk about the best running back in the league or whatever like that, you got to talk about a guy that's done it year in and year out.
You can't argue that. But I want to talk about DJ for a second here because David Johnson, I keep going to bat for him. I think it's been unfortunate circumstance. 2016, good year. 2017, he had a fluke injury. A DB hit him on the wrist. Nobody could have stopped that, okay? So everyone's calling him injury prone because of that. No, he's not. The year after, he finished top 9 in fantasy points. Still had a decent year, not a pinnacle year. And then last year.
Have that? No, I don't know. Did he?
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what did he finish with?
I don't know.
He didn't have 1,000.
I think he had 1,000. Yeah, you guys, somebody look that up. He still finished top 9 in fantasy in 2018. He had a decent year. It wasn't phenomenal. And then last year, Kingsbury, in my opinion, screwed him. It's a long story with that. So I think he's just been unfortunate.
So if we're gonna go there, so what is a decent year?
Right.
I'm asking you.
A decent year is 1,000 yards, and I think around 12 touchdowns.
He did that?
Yeah, I think someone pulled that up. I
don't think he had 1,000 yards.
I think he came close. I think he came close on that. So I'm a little frozen here. My screen's a little frozen here. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I like David Johnson for sure. Stepping up this year.
David Johnson's game is just David have to be in the right offense.
Right. Offense is a huge part of it for sure.
David need to go to Tampa.
Tampa Bay, you think he's going to get more volume there?
He need to go back with Bruce. Bruce know how to use him.
Nice. Yeah, Bruce Arians could.
That's the thing a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand, like, a lot of times a player, you know how sometimes a player can be real good in college and then they get to the NFL and they don't pan out or they don't be as good as they was in college. That's because a lot of time, and I don't care what position it is, that's because sometimes these teams will draft a guy and put them in an offense that don't fit their skill set. That's like Lamar. If somebody would have took Lamar and tried to put him in a Tom Brady offense, there's no way he would be MVP. Someone got Lamar and put him in an offense that fit his skill set. That's what I think. Nah, that's not what I think. That's what I know what happened with Vince Young. You got to put these guys in the offense that fit their skill set so they can reach their full potential. Know what I'm saying?
Right.
What I'm saying is BA know how to use David Johnson. The years David was with BA was his best years. So that's what I think. That's what I think DJ should have got traded to, honestly.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I like the upside. I like the ceiling this year. I think he steps up. A couple more questions here for you. Won't hold you up too much. What was I going to say here? Like, what is do you see your record? What is it? Do you have the record for most scrimmage yards combined? What's the exact record? You got 2,500 something, right?
Yeah, 2,509.
To be honest with you, even after a pinnacle year with CMC last year, I mean, he didn't even come close to it. How long do you? All records are meant to be broken. It's a phenomenal record. In your opinion, it's a crazy question, but how long do you see that lasting? I see it lasting a very long time. Like, honestly.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, I don't know.
Nobody knows.
I don't know. You know, you might have one of those years that somebody might just come out on fire or whatever. But I do know one thing. It's a tough record to get. Like, it's tough. Like, you have to be on point. You can't miss no games. You got to be healthy the whole season. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, for you to get all those touches and run for all those yards and be able to be healthy and play week in and week out.
Right.
Like, it's tough. It ain't all about just like, it's talent, yeah, but it's all about you got to be healthy as well. Because it's a lot of people that can't sustain 30 touches a game.
Right.
And make it to a 16-game season. So,
well, and there's a lot of pressure. We talked about this on my podcast. How much pressure did you feel coming off that? You had this pinnacle season. How much pressure did you feel the year after? Hey man, you got to do another 2,000-yard rushing season. Did you feel, and who did you feel it from, and how much pressure did you feel?
Basically, I feel like I put the pressure on myself because I wanted more. Like, I wanted to rush for more yards. Instead of having 2,500 all-purpose yards, I wanted to rush for 2,500 yards or whatever. So I kind of put it on myself, but you know, even with that, the most pressure really comes from, especially like if you're winning or whatever, most of the pressure it comes from fantasy guys talking trash on Twitter. But you get to block that out. But
right,
like at the end of the day, it really comes with winning and losing. Like if your team is winning, then it's no pressure. But then if your team is losing, then that's where the pressure comes in at.
All right, let's get to some fan questions here, Chris, if it's okay. And I appreciate your time being here. A lot of people saying CMC will break it. Yeah, whatever, guys. That's going to be a lot. He had a pinnacle season.
If somebody was to break it, my two top guys that I would say that possibly would do it would be CMC and Saquon.
CMC and Saquon can do it. Okay. Other question here. Your hardest hit. When do you remember getting hit the hardest? I'm going to get some fun questions here. Do you remember getting hit so hard you're like, shit, that was a hard hit, and who did it?
Damn. What is his name? Oh, played for the Browns. Damn, what's the linebacker name? It's on my tongue. He came from Maryland. What is his name? The real good linebacker from Maryland. He came from Maryland. Can you help me out? Damn, what is his name?
I'm not good with linebacker. I'm not a defensive guy.
Because I've been asked this question before and I said it. I can't remember his name. It's on my tongue. Oh, man.
But how hard was the hit?
Man, he hit me so hard. Man, we was running this play in practice. And I'm telling Coach Heimerdinger, rest in peace, Coach Heimerdinger. I'm telling Coach Heimerdinger, man, Coach, I don't like this play. It's not working. This thing. He like, man, it'll be fine. Like, it's just not flowing all the way right because we're not going full speed in practice, this and that. So basically, we ran the inside zone from the shotgun.
Right.
Basically. And you probably see Lamar Jackson. That's his name. DeQuell Jackson.
DeQuell Jackson. Right.
Yeah. I hate playing against this guy. I played against some Browns, Colts, all that. I hate because he the hardest hitting linebacker I ever played against.
Right.
So basically, we running this play or whatever, right? Mind you, the inside zone from shotgun only works if you have an athletic quarterback. Vince Young, Lamar, whatever. We running this play with Kerry Collins. So basically the end, he's not biting on the fake after Kerry Collins handed off. So I come through the line and DeQuell Jackson come from out of nowhere and just meet me head up. Bump. I go this way, my mouthpiece go the other way.
Oh, man.
Hard as I ever been hit. Like, oh my God.
Did you actually, you weren't out though. You weren't knocked out or anything, were you?
I went out that, no.
Okay, that's good. As long as you weren't completely knocked out, but you felt it.
Though. I felt it.
Nice. Any other questions for Chris here? We got a couple more minutes here. Some people saying Derrick Henry is going to break your record this year. I don't know, man. It'll be interesting. He breaks up for a couple big runs, right?
Yeah, you're going to need a couple big runs.
Man, that's what I liked about you with the explosive plays. That was one of my favorite. I love explosive players, and that's what makes it so.
Record too. I got that record too.
For the most, what's the exact record you're talking about?
I think, don't quote me on this. I think it's somewhere around. I think I got 8 80-yard runs.
Okay.
8 80-yard runs. I have 3 80-yard runs in one season.
Right.
Yeah, and I think the next closest person to me has like three 80-yard runs in their whole career. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, that's another tough one to beat. Another tough one to beat, man. I got one here. Is Kenyon Drake the real deal? What do you think about Kenyon Drake?
Kenyon Drake, pretty good.
Yeah,
he's pretty good. I checked him out a little bit. Not as much as I'm gonna check him out more this year. Know what I'm saying? 'Cause I feel like he'll have a full season. It's his job, a full season, see what he gonna do. I think he's pretty good. That's another thing. He was down in Miami. You know, I feel like he wasn't in the right offense. He wasn't right over to Arizona and go to balling. Know what I'm saying? So a lot of time it can be coaches. It could be offense coordinators.
Right. Another question here. Who was your favorite teammate of all time?
Favorite teammate. I have to go with Vince Young.
Who's that? Vince Young?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's my guy.
Another question. This is a good one. This is diving deep here. What is your one regret in your career? So that could be anything. The team you never got on, the run you never made, the whatever, the trade you never took, the deal you never did. What is your one regret if you chose one?
My one regret, and I would have to say my biggest regret is when I hit free agency, when I going to the Jets instead of going to Baltimore.
Okay.
That's my biggest regret in my whole career.
Nice. Everyone's got them, man. No matter how much of a pinnacle, this goes to show you guys in regards to just whatever you're doing in your life, no matter what you're doing, how big you get, there's always that one thing you could have changed or done differently. But hey, man, it still worked out great for you, and I appreciate it. Last question here. This is kind of a general question, but hardest team to play, like throughout your career, which team was it like, oh, screw those guys. Fuck, they're so difficult. I'm going to have a hard time. Was there a specific team that stuck out in your mind and said, shit, I'm going against the Bears again? Like what team was it that kind of was a pest to you?
Pittsburgh.
Really? Tough team, right? They played you hard.
Tough team, defense. Hey.
Palomalu.
Yeah, when we finna play Pittsburgh, time to scrap it up. It's finna be a heavyweight fight. From the beginning to the end, it's finna be a tough one. Came out on the winning end sometime, came out on the losing end sometime, but it always was a good game, hard hitting game. But yeah, that's one team like, dang, we gotta play Pittsburgh.
Right. Well, thank you, Chris. I appreciate you coming on. Can you plug your coffee house again? Everything from details to the website, all the details. Now, guys, listen, head on over there, follow what he's asking you because he might come on again. Hopefully we get him on again. We love that inside player information, and especially a guy that's a living legend here, future Hall of Famer, a guy that has hit such pinnacle records at such a difficult position to hit. So the least you can do, guys, is go out there, show some support. Can you plug your channel, your website, everything, when it's coming, all the details, please, Chris?
Okay, so first of all, you can go to www.justlovecoffee.com and check out, the whole menu, all the locations, what's the closest location to your area, all of that. You can go to on Instagram, you go to Just Love Claremont and check out my page, give you all updates, opening updates for when I'm gonna be opening, and any questions, anything you have, you go to my Instagram page and check it out. I'll be in the one in Orlando, it will be opening up in December. And any updates you need, you just go there, or you go to, like I say, you go to the website, check out any stores that's close to your area. Also, if you want to open up a Just Love Coffee, you also can go to that website and get all the information you need. You can bring it to whatever city you want to bring it to, all of that.
I got to tell you, it's a great business to be in, especially being in the Northeast. I'm in the Buffalo, Canada area, and they've got a coffee brand up north. It's such a huge phenomenon. Everybody gets it. And what I get coffee for, I just like my coffee black. I don't go for any type of sugar or anything. I use it before as a pre-workout. Have you ever used coffee as a pre-workout yourself or no?
Not well. I made a mistake one time and drank some coffee and took my pre-workout, and I was too high.
Too much, right? Well, your heart's racing, right? And it's like it's too much.
Too much, yeah.
Yeah. You got to be careful. That's too much caffeine. But yeah, I just like it. If you guys can't get access to a pre-workout, just pull in, grab a coffee. It's helped me through my workouts, man. It gives me that extra little boost to my workouts. So, Chris, thank you very much for being here. It means the world to us. Hopefully, we get you on again. Hopefully, you can come on as a regular, even more often on Fan to Fan Network. And again, some fans that aren't even here, we're not even full season. People are still sleeping on the season right now. Once we go full season, expect this number to like triple, quadruple, 10x here in the chat. So thank you, Chris, genuinely from my heart here. I appreciate you being here. It means the world to us. And again, thanks again.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Have yourself a great day.
All right, you too.
There you go, man. Chris CJ2K Johnson, man. That was great. I enjoyed that. Got to ask some questions here. We're going to get him on a little bit more often. Hopefully he comes on again. Hopefully you guys left a good impression. A lot of professional questions there for us. We're going to move on here. Next guy we're talking to here is Joe Russ. And as you can see here, I don't even need to make an intro here on what team he's representing. You guys can clearly see it. The Denver Broncos. Man, what is going on, Joe? Joe, your mic is off. Please turn your mic on. It's our first premiere here. So there you go. You're on now?
What is up, Joe? I'm super excited to be here.
We got
Can't
you.
be more excited to start streaming here for Fan to Fan, and I can't wait to be covering the Broncos for each and every one of y'all.
Man, I appreciate you being here. It means the world to us here representing Denver. Listen, Denver fans, obviously you guys are excited. It's going to be a big year. You've got Melvin Gordon now. So my first question is a fantasy head, and I got to ask this. Melvin Gordon or Philip Lindsay? Is Melvin Gordon going to get 300 attempts, or will Philip Lindsay be a fantasy football pest? What is going on?
It will play out, and here's why. As a Broncos fan, I would actually like for it to play out. I do not think Melvin Gordon is worth drafting in the late second, early third round. I don't think he's going to be worth his ADP because Philip Lindsay is a really good football player. Even though Melvin Gordon got the big money and he's making exponentially more money than Philip Lindsay, Melvin Gordon isn't that much better than Philip Lindsay to the point to where he's going to be upwards near 300 carries and Philip Lindsay will be at 100 carries. I think it will be more so around Philip Lindsay 150, 175 carries and Melvin Gordon maybe 200, 250. I think that the third round ADP could play off well if the Broncos offense is good enough. However, I'm a big fan of Drew Lock, but there is risk there in him being a second-year quarterback. The week 1 game against the Titans will just be his 6th game he started. So if the offense doesn't get off to a fast start and Melvin Gordon isn't being the workhorse that you want, I just don't think his ADP will pay off. However, I do love getting Philip Lindsay in the back of the 9th round. I think he's a dude that will be able to sit on your roster as a 4th or a 5th running back for your team.
Right.
So you can plug and play and maybe get 10 plus, 15 plus fantasy points per game. Because I think he's still going to be getting around 7 to 10, 7 to 15 touches a game, with Melvin Gordon maybe getting a similar number or a slight bump.
You touched on a little bit here with Locke. Okay, now I've got him as a backup quarterback with massive upside. He's got a lot of weapons. You guys got Hamler, you got Judy, you got Sutton. So I got a 2-part question here for you, which is something that's on everybody's mind. Can Jerry Judy, one of the most polished route runners coming out of the NFL draft, can he become the wide receiver 1? Because again, a lot of this is predicated on who Drew Lock, as a guy, we haven't seen him gel with anybody. He hasn't played a full year with anybody. Who is he going to gravitate to, and can Judy become the one there, or is it going to be all Sutton, or is it going to be more Noah Fant? Who is going to be the guy that's going to get a bulk of the volume? Who is he gravitating to?
Will play out. I think we will have Cortland Sutton as the wide receiver 1, with him getting the majority of the targets, the majority of the yards, the majority of the touchdowns. He's an absolute monster at 6'4". He is a beast. He's a big-time red zone target. He can go deep. He can catch the ball. And he has had a little bit more experience with Drew Lock. Even though Drew Lock only started 5 games last year, those 5 games for a quarterback going into his second year are going to be having great value. With Jerry Jeudy, I think Jerry Jeudy does have tremendous upside. I think he's one of the best wide receiver prospects to ever come through the NFL draft. That's it. I said ever. I think that he could be the next coming of maybe someone like Randy Moss.
Wow.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Jeudy in the next 2, 3, 4 years becomes the number one on this team. However, I think definitely this year the wide receiver one will be Courtland Sutton, as he's just more of an established guy and he's just an elite threat already. I think Jerry Jeudy will have some learning to do, although I do think he is the most pro-ready wide receiver to come out of the draft. And then with the wide receiver 3, I think the third best receiver for this team will actually be a wide receiver.
Wow.
I think it will be tight end Noah Fant. Noah Fant, in my opinion, could be this year's Mark Andrews. Some dude who's going 10th round or later and can come in and just have a fantastic year. He's a big play threat. He's one of the most athletic tight ends in the entire NFL. And I think that Drew Lock will be looking at him as more of a third receiver, and then with KJ Hamler as the fourth guy.
Now, you've got one of the top Instagram pages for the Broncos. What's that? What's your Instagram page, if you want to shout it out?
Page is at Broncos.insider. I'm upwards near 10,000 followers, and we're growing every single day. Super hyped for the season. I also just recently launched a YouTube page, just launched a new video yesterday, where I've been growing pretty quickly here, have 5 to 6 videos up. And if you guys could just go subscribe to the YouTube page, which is The Broncos Insider, and go follow on Instagram, which is at Broncos.insider, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, man. You can find him at fan2fannetwork.com under the Broncos. He's the Broncos ambassador, obviously very knowledgeable about the Broncos. And somebody saying here that your red hair matches the team, so it works out perfectly. That's funny. Comment the witty people in the comments. So thank you, Joe. Appreciate you being here. We're going to move on here. And the next guy I'm going to bring on here is and a lot of people say that he actually looks like Pat Mahomes. I'm going to pull him up here. He's our Detroit Lions ambassador. And I hate to put this on you here, Dose. If you guys are seeing a resemblance to Pat Mahomes, leave a comment here. I find it kind of comical every time I bring him on. What's going on, Dose?
Hey, what's up, man? What's up, man? Good to be here. Glad to be here. What's up, One Pride Nation? And yeah, I'm curious to see how many people think I look like Mahomes. I know you do.
Dose of Dion, one of the biggest YouTube channels for the Detroit Lions here, and one of the biggest ambassadors for Detroit Lions, a guy that studies them, knows them, lives them, breathes them, smells them, tastes them, whatever you want to say. It's all Detroit Lions here for you. I have a Dose of Dion. So we got some questions here for you. Similar to the Bills, I got to say this. I am excited to watch this offense. I'm a huge Kenny Galladay fan, big Kenny G fan. So Kenny Galladay, is the hype real? Is he mini Megatron? What is going on? Is he going to have as big of a year as he had last year or even bigger? What are your thoughts?
Yes, Joe, you're absolutely right to be super excited about this offense, man. This offense was incredible last year when Matthew Stafford was healthy. 312 passing yards per game, which would have led the NFL when he was healthy. This offense was incredible. And I know you love Kenny Galladay, and I know what Daryl Bevel recently said about Kenny Galladay, our offense coordinator, has got you excited, saying that he wants Kenny Galladay to be recognized as a top echelon wide receiver in the NFL with Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins. And I think the reason he's saying things like that is that he wants him to be an all-around target. Last year he was more of a deep threat kind of guy with tons of yards per target. Over 18 yards per target, but he wants to get him involved everywhere on the field. I expect him to put up bigger numbers than he did last season, somewhere around 1,300 yards.
Yeah, man, I'm a huge Kenny Galladay, so I'm big on him. All right, we got to talk about this running back by committee BS. Like, who is taking that starting job? I mean, it's definitely not going to be Kerryon Johnson. Is Swift going to emerge? Because I think he's one of the most talented running backs in the NFL draft coming out of the draft this year. Is Swift going to take that job?
Yeah, it's tough with the Lions, man. I don't know if running backs are always the best to go with the Lions right now. They love doing running back by committee, and they have a very deep running back class, and they pretty much have every different type of running back you could look at. Bo is their power back. They have Ty still in there. I mean, they're going to keep multiple running backs. Definitely the excitement is around DeAndre Swift, his ability to catch the ball in the backfield better than Kerryon definitely could. And that's going to be huge because we know when Matthew Stafford had Theo Riddick, he was putting up ridiculous numbers. And now you have DeAndre Swift, who's a better overall prospect, runs the ball better, and essentially may pass catch better. DeAndre Swift, I think he'll have the most touches of any running back, but I know it's probably going to be somewhat by committee.
Someone in the comments saying Pat Mahomes and CJ2K, what a premiere. I mean, I had to get Pat Mahomes on here. What can I tell you? All right. Well, thanks a lot, Dose. I appreciate you guys. He is our fan ambassador for the Detroit Lions. I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So who do we got queued up here? We've got, oh my goodness, speaking of Pat Mahomes, we didn't even plan this, but it kind of worked out that way. What is going on? We've got our Chiefs ambassador, Ryan, representing the Chiefs. What is going on? What is your YouTube channel? Who are you? What do you do? Let us know.
My channel's RGR Football. I'm a former strength and conditioning coach and exercise physiologist. And I've been covering that team for 7 years, the NFL for about 13. So I go a ways back, and Pat Mahomes has more hair on his arms than I have on my head.
Well, thanks for being on here. So I'm going to get right to it. I'm not going to play any games here. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, real deal. How much volume is he going to get? Especially as a fantasy guy, you're the guy I got to talk to. Am I investing a first-round pick? Because I'm looking at the volume last year between Damian Williams and McCoy. They had just over 218 attempts-ish combined. Mind you, Williams didn't play the entire season. Trust me, I've been studying this stuff. Is Clyde Edwards-Helaire going to be the real deal? We already saw Chris Johnson, retired, future Hall of Famer, say that Clyde Edwards-Helaire could be the Rookie of the Year. What are your thoughts? Is he the real deal?
I'm with Chris. I expect him to get somewhere between 70 80% of the touches. If the question is going to be, does he hit the rookie wall? Right now, he's actually taking a day off from practice today. Darrell Williams got the start in his place at practice. That is exactly the mix that you're going to see. You might even see, depending on the pass pro, that Darrell Williams might start the first couple of games. Let Clyde ease into it. But by the end of this season, it's going to be 70 80% Clyde.
Now, a guy that I had on my bench last year didn't work out for very well. I had him I stashed him on my bench prior to the acquisition of LaShawn McCoy, is Darwin Thompson. Why is he just not a factor? Is it his pass protection? Why? Like, he's a strong dude. Like, he's young, he's hungry. He came out a couple plays, looked good. Why is he shelved? Why is he not getting the respect he deserves?
He is young and he's really built kid, but last year it was slow to get him playing time because of the pass protection issues. That did come on. He got a few snaps in the Super Bowl, even the postseason run. He was in amongst the mix and actually got onto the game day rosters over LaShawn McCoy. So he definitely, I thought, progressed, but it's just the lack of explosiveness. It's the lack of hit the hole and take advantage of it. He hasn't been able to make any of his touches into big plays yet. So I think it's just going to be a little more creeping along, and he's had a lot of adjustment to do coming from where he played in college. It is a big leap.
Yeah, man. I was excited about him as a stash, but again, that buzz got killed pretty quickly, and that's why I'm having a hard time trusting the Chiefs. So is someone else potentially going to come in now that Williams is gone, or do you think they're going to stay as is and go with what they've got for running back?
Barring injury, they're going to stay with the guys that they got. They really like this particular trio with Clyde, Darrell Williams, and then they like DeAndre Washington quite a bit too. They brought him in specifically because of his pass catching ability, and he's played with Pat Mahomes in the past. There's a connection there.
Okay, that's exciting. Now, are you sold on Watkins saying he's going to have a 100-yard reception? See, years to wow, and I'm not wowed, or is McCole Hardman the two there?
Sammy's out with a groin today, so that might tell you something. And nothing against Sammy. I do think that he's going to continue to play big-time games like we saw him at the end of the season.
Yeah.
My money's on McCole Hardman getting the advantage against the defenses and the shells they're going to run.
Yeah, man, I'm not sold on anything Sammy Watkins says. So, record this year, can they go back-to-back? I know Tyreek's been flirting and hinting at it and saying, repeat Michael Jordan quotes and all this stuff. Can they repeat this year? Obviously, physically they can, but will they? What's going to happen this year?
My gut says they have the best chance to repeat of any team in the last 2 decades because of what this offseason's been and how many guys they have stepping back into similar roles. At the end of the day, I think they go 12-2.
Wow.
Yeah, that's only a 14-game season because I do think something's going to pop up with this virus, and it's going to be about continuity and not being able to practice and how many games you can get.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you for being on, man. He is our Chiefs ambassador, and he's got some big shoes to fill because that's a huge franchise. Everybody's watching. FanToFanNetwork.com. Follow him on there. All his social media is there, his YouTube channel. You've got what? One of, if not the number one Chiefs YouTube channel. Am I correct?
I do. It's huge. We do 5-day-a-week content, all kinds of film analysis, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, man. I'm pleased to have you part of Fan to Fan Network. Excited to have you, man. Thank you for being on.
Yeah, thank you. Welcome to Fan, everybody.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you. All right, let's move on here. Let's work on getting somebody else here. We're going to get Arizona here in a second. We're just queuing him in here. Arizona, because I got a lot of questions for Arizona. Arizona, obviously on people's radar this year, simply, well, a lot of reasons, David Johnson being one of them, and that whole entire offense, Kyler Murray being compared to Lamar Jackson. So we're waiting for our AZ guy to come on here. We're queuing him up, and I'm going to get him in here as soon as I can find him here. Mike, where are you here? We're going to get you on. We're going to put him on here in a second. He's still in the waiting room coming on. Waiting for Zoom to pick up its thing. We're going to pin him on. Mike, are you ready? Just got to pull up your camera there, and we're ready to go. All right, here we go. Arizona, what is going on? What's going on, Mike?
Hey, what is going on, Joe? Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties. I am here, man. What is going on?
Good, man. Proud to have you here. Again, we've been talking about there's a lot of fantasy heads, and I keep going back to fantasy, but I mean, it's in reality as well. Everybody comparing Kyler Murray to be the next Lamar. I'm personally not sold on that. I think that's BS. Lamar is just elite special talent, coming off an amazing pinnacle year. What is the deal with Kyler Murray? Does it take a step up? Because I watched the entire Arizona Cardinals offense last year. I was upset about Kingsbury benching David Johnson. Was that an injury? We don't really know. It could have been. Obviously, I think he wants to run the offense the way he wants to run it. Right. But Kyler Murray, we saw last year, he was scrambling a lot and was losing yardage. Then as the season progressed, we saw him smartly throwing the ball away out of bounds, not losing the yardage, and kind of coming into his own. What happens to, I'm sorry, did I say Lamar? I meant Kyler Murray. Is Kyler Murray going to be the guy this year? Like, is he going to step up?
Murray will 100% be the guy next year. This coming year anyways. Yeah, I'm super excited about the progression of Kyler Murray. I mean, not just Kyler Murray, but just what the offense just did in general. Larry Fitzgerald, DeAndre Hopkins, and I know a lot of people really aren't sold on Kenyon Drake, but we got to give him respect to basically him coming in with 8 games and not really having any time to learn the playbook, but he got that playbook like nobody's business. So honestly, I'm super excited about Kenyon Drake. Will he get the same production as he did for those last 8 games? It's kind of remained to be seen at this point because we have a DeAndre Hopkins and so much more wide receivers, but I mean, we'll see.
A lot of people saying he's going to be MVP this year. I mean, that's very viable. Okay. But again, we look at Hopkins, we look at Fitzgerald, we look at Kirk, we look at Isabella. Is Hopkins, and this is a big debate I have all the time, is Hopkins, it's a big question, going to get 150 attempts? Because I don't believe that he's going to be a guy that's going to get 150 attempts this year. What are your thoughts on Hopkins?
I think he's still going to be as equally as productive as he was in Houston, personally. And maybe if not more. I mean, we got Larry Fitzgerald, which I understand he's already, aging, but it's Larry Legend. I mean, at the end of the day, he's probably going to be used in the slot more than anything. And then we have a great young talent in Christian Kirk. He had a couple injuries, but I feel like he's going to bounce back and become the second part of being the second wide receiver, while Larry Fitzgerald's going to play the slot.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to my argument again because I'm going to argue with you here just for a minute here.
Let's go.
Larry Fitzgerald, number 1 wide receiver on the team, maxed out at 109 targets. Kirk at 107. They're still there. They're still there. They're not shipped off. They're still there. So how the hell is Hopkins going to come in? Right, he's a top 5 fantasy wide receiver, right? How's he going to get 150 targets? Mathematically, it doesn't make sense unless Kyler Murray pisses on these guys, says, hey, fuck you guys. I don't want anything to do with you guys. I'm just going to throw to Hopkins. And that's my first question. And then like, how's he going to fucking thread the needle constantly to Hopkins? I don't see it mathematically. Can you explain this to me, please?
I think we also got to take into consideration that last year was kind of skewed numbers because we were very first. Cliff Kingsbury was coming in with this, high-powered air raid offense that was coming in. Everybody was still trying to learn the playbook. Although everybody sold to us, the Arizona Cardinal fans, that we have this top secret offense coming into the 2019 season. I literally think their plan was, let's wing it. Let's see what happens. And oops, we made a mistake when we didn't play preseason, because when we had those last games, especially against those Lions, that Lions game, that first game, it really showed that we couldn't protect Kyler Murray. He had no time. So I think it's different now coming into the second year of the Cliff Kingsbury's offense, where we have multiple people coming back and actually knowing what they're doing. And they're just adding DeAndre Hopkins is just going to be more time for the offense to be on the field.
Right, man. Well, you heard it right here. So I think, he's going to get some volume. He's going to be solid. I just don't see him being as viable as he was when I'm talking about Hopkins as he was with the Texans. Again, that's my opinion on here, right?
Right.
And again, I'm excited about the Cardinals offense. The upside is there. What a record prediction. Curious to hear your record prediction here.
10-6, my friend. 10-6.
That's fair. You know, again, you're not getting a biased opinion from these guys. That's what I've noticed, that these guys are brand ambassadors, but they're keeping it real. They're not giving you a biased opinion. Well, thank you, AZ Sports Fan. Find them at Fan to Fan Network under the Arizona Cardinals tab. And thank you for being on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, man. Rise up, Red Sea. Have a great day, man.
Rise up, Red Sea. There you go. All right, here. Next up, let's move on here. We've got Ian from the official Jets Central. Let's go, Jets, a team that I would probably ban if it was an option to save the league and the year. You guys, I did this post actually, Ian. Sorry, again, I'm knocking you guys here. We had 3 teams that we were going to eliminate if we were to save the season. Which ones would we get rid of? Jets was a favorite. Are you guys going to have a better season this year? What's going on?
What's going on, Joe? Hey, thanks so much for having me on.
Thanks.
So, I mean, the thing is, with the New York Jets, I love how the team is constructed. I love the young core, right? Sam Darnold, Quinnen Williams. You know, now we're bringing in guys like Denzel Mims, round 2 of last year.
He's hurt already. Isn't he hurt?
Hey,
hamstring?
Yeah, he's hurt hamstring, but hey, it is what it is. Still I think we got like a month left before the season actually,
right,
is a go. So we still do have some time here.
Okay.
So pump the brakes, but I love this young core, but it's Adam Gase, man. I am not a fan of Adam Gase. I mean, I wasn't in Chicago. I wasn't, even further back in Denver, definitely wasn't in Miami. And then I remember when the Jets hired him, I looked at my phone, got the notification, and I like Gronk spiked my phone on the ground. So the season will kind of play out. I really do feel like it's Gase's team, and it's going to go as far as he lets them go. Right. I mean, we've seen it in the past. He kind of sits at that average record, like the 8-8, the 9-7, 7-9. He seems to always finish there, just middle of the road.
Right. So I got to ask you here, you guys, and again, you guys, I really bash your teams, and I'm pretty honest and blunt here, and you guys handle it pretty well. You don't have a receiver. Like I said, I'm not sold on Mims. He could be the guy. Like, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell, as you probably saw my social media, me and him, I said I'd box him for charity. He went and put something in his story mode. Long story, just follow my Instagram at Fantasy Football Counselor to get you caught up. But anyway, isn't Le'Veon Bell just going to be, seeing stacked boxes all day? What happens here?
Yeah, I know. It's funny you mentioned that. I remember I was working, I was looking down at my phone, and I had a whole bunch of DMs by you, just you going at it with my guy, Le'Veon Bell. He's my favorite player on the team. And I'm like, Joe, why are you bashing this guy, man? This is my dude. But we'll see. Again, it comes down to Dowell Loggins, Adam Gase's offensive scheme, because they did not use Le'Veon Bell in the correct way last season, right? We saw Bell flash. I do still think he's kind of getting back into the swing of things. If you do follow his social media, you will see that he is in the best shape of his life. You'll notice that the Jets kind of beefed up their offensive line as well, which is huge.
Yeah,
adding guys like Connor McGovern and whatnot. First round pick Mekhi Becton, 6'7", 360-pound guy's a stud. Totally amped up for Becton. And just another year in the Gase system. I'm hoping after another full off season, another a whole season of tape, the offensive guru that is Adam Gase will, formulate an idea on how to get Le'Veon Bell the football and use him in an effective way.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that offense works this year. Not something I'm excited about, but hopefully Darnold develops a little more this year and does better, man. So sleeper fantasy pick on your team. Anyone that you're targeting for fantasy from your team, not named Le'Veon Bell.
I'm going to say, I was kind of going back and forth between Le'Veon Bell, but I'm going to say Le'Veon Bell and Sam Darnold, but I'm going to say Rashad Perryman.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a dude that, I'm not saying go draft him in the first round, second round, third round, but I feel like if he's there late in the draft, just go pick him up. The kind of the scuttlebutt of camp right now is that this guy is dominating. Sam Darnold and Perryman have an instant connection, and Perryman has been vocal about Darnold's pretty much everything about him, his release, just getting him the football, finding him down the field. Those two definitely have a connection, and Perryman is coming off his best season as an NFL pro, former first-round pick. I know he didn't work out with Cleveland and Baltimore, but I think when it's all said and done, if you want a sleeper, again, not
Herndon?
say what?
Herndon?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, he's still a little sketchy. I do think he's a little underrated right now.
He's raw.
I feel like in fantasy, you want to maximize, your picks, and if Perryman's sitting there in the last couple rounds, might as well snag him.
All right. Well, thanks, Ian, for being on. Jets, the official Jets Central, FanToFanNetwork.com under the Jets tab. Some people saying, your team's going to bust. Darnold's going to bust.
Yeah, I mean, I've known you for a couple months now, and that's all I've heard. So I'm used to it.
All right, thanks for being on, man. Representing the Jets. Somebody has to. Thank you, Ian. I appreciate it. Great channel, by the way, on YouTube. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
All right, we're moving on here. Who do we have next here? Oh my goodness, one of my favorite teams. I'm not wearing my Bears hat. I'm really not, but clearly he is. Faizan from Faizan Sports Talk, a phenomenal YouTube channel talking sports, representing the Bears, though, on Fan to Fan Network. Obviously a good Bears insider, knows his stuff, clearly very knowledgeable. What's going on, Faizan? What's happening, man?
What's good, Joe? Ready to talk some Bears? What's good with you?
All right, man. I'm excited to talk Bears, and you know who I'm going to talk about because he let me down. Now, I was drafting David Montgomery. Right to David Montgomery talk. I'm not holding back here, and then we're going to talk a little bit with the QB battle here with Trubisky and Foles. David Montgomery, I was talking to a guy that trains with him. He's one of his trainers. I think he's a physical therapist. Been to David Montgomery's condo. Montgomery's saying he's working on his top end speed, looking for those breakout runs. Didn't really get the opportunity last year. Nagy trying to be cute with the runs, obviously bringing in Tariq Cohen on 3rd and 1 and running for negative yardage. Not a smart decision. Is Montgomery going to be a factor? They're talking now about Cordell Patterson getting some work at the running back position, who originally came in the league as a wide receiver. I think he was with the Vikings years ago. If I'm not wrong, if I'm wrong or not, I'm not sure. What happens with David Montgomery this year? Step up or not?
David Montgomery is my breakout player on the Bears this year. I'm loving David Montgomery. Draft him in fantasy everywhere. Obviously, ADP matters, so I'm thinking about where I'm trying to snag him up. But regardless of who the quarterback is, and I know we're going to get into that, the best part about it is I know David Montgomery is going to be a big part of the offense. They're going to run the football with him. Last year, the line couldn't run block. I know the Bears really didn't address the offensive line from a talent perspective, but they did bring in a new offensive line coach, which should help with the scheme. But point being is, Matt Nagy knows for his team to succeed this year, we need a heavy dose of David Montgomery. He is guaranteed a workload. There's nobody like him on the team.
So what is it? Is he working on, like, what is it? What's going to help him? Is it the O-line? Is it the quarterback play? Is it just David Montgomery doing better? And is it a combination of all of them? Even the coach realizing, shit, I got to get Montgomery out here. What is it really going to be the if factor to help David break out?
It's a couple of things. Definitely a combination for sure. I think his improvement, like you mentioned in the offseason, everything I've read is David Montgomery has looked phenomenal. He's in great shape. He's coming into camp looking real good. And then he got the volume last year, but I think more so now they're going to depend on him even more. And the offensive line, like I mentioned, I do think they will use him properly, and the scheme of the offensive line will be better. And point being is, again, going back to the quarterback situation, I just feel like they're not going to trust either Foles or Trubisky, whoever ends up starting, and they're just going to give David Montgomery that work. And to be honest, there's nobody on the team to steal carries away from him. Tariq Cohen's a pass-catching back, and then you mentioned Cordell Patterson. He's a gadget player. He's not a threat, so that's why I feel good about Montgomery.
I love him. All right, so we got another minute or so. Let's wrap this up. Mitch Trubisky, does he start? Does he keep the job? Is he the real deal? Obviously saying he's going to take the team on his back. He's going to perform. He's going to be optimal this year. Him, Allen Robinson, they got a bit of a connection. Or is Foles just going to come in? Now, Foles obviously going to be a safer play, and obviously Trubisky a little more upside. Does Trubisky step it up this year? What are you hearing from training camp? Has he been looking good? Who's going to start? Who's going to keep the job? What's the story? In a minute or less, please.
What I've heard from training camp from Matt Nagy, he's been very mum on the situation. He's not committing to anybody, but he has to soon. Obviously, the season's starting up very quickly. But it's a 50-50 shot from what I'm hearing. I'm on record. Mitch Trubisky is going to be the starter for the Bears. Obviously, with training camp being abbreviated, Nick Foles doesn't have the rapport with the receivers. Nick Foles hasn't had a chance to pick up the playbook. Mitch is coming in here motivated. He knows this is his last shot. He is my pick to start. Doesn't mean he's my pick to finish the season, because that could be Nick Foles coming in if Trubisky struggles. But I believe he's going to be starting quarterback for the Bears come week 1.
I believe in the biscuit. Now, if he comes out 3-0, he's going to probably stay on until he starts going on like this losing streak, which I think they've got the talent this year. I really think they got the running backs locked in. I think Robinson's going to be solid this year. They've got other guys like Miller to step up. As long as Trubisky holds his end of the deal, he's staying on that field. We know it. And I think he starts out of the gate. That's my opinion. All right, Faizan, thank you for representing FanToFanNetwork.com under the Bears. Make sure you're following his YouTube channel. It's all at FanToFan Network. You can find all these ambassadors there. Head on over to FanToFanNetwork.com, bookmark it. Thank you, Faizan. Appreciate you. It means the world to us.
Appreciate it, Joe. Sounds good, guys. Fan to fan. Let's get it.
Appreciate it, man. All right, let's see if he's here. And this is a guy I'm a fan of. Where is he? Is Big Cat not in the... Okay, so Big Cat is not in the studio here. We're going to move on here. Texans guy, he is not there as well, so we're going to jump over him. We're going to get, who's next on the queue here? We've got Nothing But Niners. Are you there, Nick? Are you there? Let me pin him in here. All right, we're actually, I missed over Big Cat, so we're going to get to Big Cat later. He's representing Carolina. We jumped over him, so we're going to bring in Nick from Nothing But Niners, representing the Niners. What's going on, man? Exciting franchise, exciting team. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Joe? What's going on, faithfuls that are watching and everybody that is here on the show? This is going to be huge here over at FTFN, so make sure you guys are giving us a follow. Make sure you guys are hitting that like and keep up with all the stream of all the amazing talent that all these guys have, man. I'm happy to be here, Joe. What's going on, man?
Man, I'm beyond excited. I haven't really had a time to pause. I just want to take 1 minute to breathe here. This is phenomenal. I mean, it's been flowing smooth. We had Chris Johnson on the show. We've got amazing people, and not just amazing ambassadors, but amazing people here that are passionate about their sports, giving information about what they love. Also, what's more amazing is the fans. Forget us, because we don't matter. It's the fans that are in here displaying their love for the team. So I really wanted to build this to give people a place to go to talk to real people that are you guys and ambassadors. So again, I just had to take a moment just to pause and soak this all in, because this is really exciting, not only for me, for you guys, but also the fans. So man, I'm just excited, man. I don't even know what to say right now. So it's been great. I got a question for you, Nick, though.
Yeah.
Inside information training camp. Obviously, I've heard, again, I'm all around guy, all around fan. So I get a little bit of here, a little bit of there. Big question is, who is the wide receiver going one? I heard Debo might be held out a couple weeks into the season. Is Debo going to start week one? I heard he's going to be held out. You would know better. What's going on with Debo Samuel?
Yeah, the other day, Kyle Shanahan was talking about camp and said, the question came about Debo Samuel. Obviously, had a heck of a year last year, after week 6, week 7, once Emmanuel Sanders came over, took a really big jump in the 49ers offense. This year, I believe that he is going to be, Kyle Shanahan said that they're going to take it slowly with him. He wants to be out there, obviously, by come week 1. The question is, will he be ready for week 1? Right now, Kyle Shanahan's not really given any information on that. To allow that, to happen and people to game plan and things like that. Debo, if not, I don't believe they'll put him on the PUP list or the injured list so that he would have to wait 6 weeks. So if anything, I think he would just be a non-active guy week 1 if can't play, and then move on and hopefully come back, week 2 to week 3. So I think that's what would happen with him. I don't believe they'll put him on the IR to where he has to wait for that 6 weeks to come back.
All right, Nick, we've also got your partner here, Mike. We're going to put him on for a second here as well. We're going to pin him on. What is going on, Mike? What's happening, man? Your mic's off, I think. Mike's off. So I think we're not getting your volume here. We're not getting sound here from Mike. Yeah, so these guys run a phenomenal page, Nothing But Niners. Make sure you check them out on YouTube here. Mike's going to come on. Nick, there you are. What's up, Mike?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Sorry about that, guys. A little technical difficulty here. But, that question that you asked, Nick, about who to look for in fantasy, right? Like, you got the injury to Debo Samuel. That's interesting. But they moved up in the first round and drafted this young rookie stud, Brandon Ayuk. And then we hear reports from camp today saying that he had the most impressive 50-yard bomb over the shoulder catch from Jimmy Garoppolo. And then yesterday you hear Kyle Shanahan at the presser saying how impressive this kid is and how he's so far ahead of any rookie wide receiver he's worked with. So I think that's something that people should keep an eye on also.
Is some of this stuff bullshit just to pump up their players, or do you genuinely feel this is like they're talking real shit?
No, I believe in what Kyle says. He'll give you the fluff like, he's where I expect him to be, and he looks okay. But when he's praising someone like that, he means it.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm hearing like even the Colts, Frank Wright, oh, we've got the best wide receiver out of the draft. We got Michael Pittman. Like, some of this is like they pump up their own guys. So we're hearing it from you because you watch the tape, you're getting the inside ear. Ayuk's the real deal, right? Perfect. Let's go back here. I think we lost you for sound again here. Let's get you're back.
The real deal for sure.
Perfect. Let's get Nick back here because we kind of cut him short there. I apologize. We'll get you just for tight for time here. So, Nick, overall, what's the record here? What is your record prediction here for the 49ers? And I hope, similar to the Eagles who went to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, they fell off. Do the 49ers maintain up here, or are they going to fall off record-wise this year? We lost your sound again.
Sorry, I muted myself.
No problem.
Look, I truly believe, we have not lost a ton on this team. This team is coming back completely full. Another year under Kyle Shanahan's system for most of the younger guys that were in the offensive side. You add guys like Javon Kinlaw. You add, Nick Bosa coming in year 2. Dee Ford had an operation on his knee, the knee tendonitis, which seems to be healthy. Says he's completely feeling better than he has in the last few years. Getting a healthy him. This front defensive line, also shoring up Jimmy Ward, who, played safety as well as he did last year, being in his natural position. This team doesn't fall off at all this year. If anything, I think they're better than what they were last year, to be honest with you. And that's not to pull anybody's chain or, say that just because I'm a Niners fan. This team did not lose anybody. The continuity that is in this locker room and the way that they genuinely get along, they are a true family and they play like that as well. Look, there's some early predictions, that teams that are traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast could have to go back home other than staying on the East Coast. The Niners, week 2, week 3, for example, Giants, Jets, right? Originally, they were going to stay on the East Coast and then play back-to-back East Coast games, right? Them and the Raiders as well. Now it's coming out that they may have to go back home. That may take a change in the schedule and also hurt the record because of travel time. But I got this team easily right now at 13-3 winning the NFC West.
Nice. Because a couple of people in the comments saying you guys are going to fall off. You won't have the same record. Debo's hurt, blah, blah, blah. You lost this player. They lost Buckner, they're saying.
Yeah, we lost Buckner. We definitely lost Buckner. But look, Javon Kinlaw is not anybody to sleep on either. I mean, this kid is a freak of nature. So he's going to step right in. And you look at it, you can watch our show and you can see that we don't, myself and Mike, and I'll let Mike talk on this if we have time, but we haven't praised DeForest Buckner. If anything, DeForest Buckner should have had a heck of a year compared to his 13.5 sack season the year before. Last year, he fell off, right? He's a replaceable guy. This defensive front works as a unit, and they're going to work together, and anybody that steps in there is going to beast.
We are tight for time. Thank you, Nothing But Niners. I just want to get Mike on here one last time to give a quick shout-out on his YouTube channel. Mike, what's going on, man? Let's get you on real quick. What is your YouTube channel, please?
Yeah, guys, check us out on YouTube. It is Nothing But Niners. It's spelled all the way out. Even if you search NBN or NB Niners, NB number 9 ERS, you guys will find us. We're there. Almost 10,000 subs and videos for days. If you guys got some time to kill, that's what you can binge watch right there. That's a good show right there.
All right, we're going to move on. Thank you, Nothing But Niners, guys. Fan to Fan Network. Make sure you guys follow them there. Let's move on here. Let's get our Giants guy here real quickly here. We're kind of behind schedule here. But what is going on? Kid Blue, man, representing the Giants, man. And I love Saquon. Love me some Saquon this year. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Excited to be here.
And again, I'm hearing a little bit of here and there, so I'm going to try to ask questions that I feel fans are going to be asking. So, pretty obvious here. Is Daniel Jones going to step up this year? What's the story? Is he as advertised? Is he good? What's the story with him?
Yes, I completely think Daniel Jones is going to have to step up this year, especially with the new additions that we brought on to the team. Last year, the offensive line didn't do Daniel Jones any favors. And granted, Daniel Jones also has his fumbling issues as well, which he needs to work on. But, getting in, Jason Garrett, bringing him in as a new offensive coordinator, revamping this offensive line, drafting 3 new offensive linemen can do nothing but help Daniel Jones. With Darius Slayton going into his second year, fully healthy right now, which he wasn't healthy in his rookie year, should help Daniel Jones as well. Daniel Jones is going to have a huge step up next year.
Okay, we're tight for time, so I got to ask you this. Record-breaking year for Saquon Barkley this year. What are your thoughts on Saquon?
Saquon's, hopefully he can break some records. I would love that. We'll see what happens. I'm not biased. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to break every single record known to man. But he is coming off of an injury. He did struggle last year, coming off that high ankle sprain. As far as how the system is built for Saquon, I think it's going to help him in tremendous ways. How Jason Garrett loves running the ball, how Jason Garrett's love, running the ball in order to set up the pass. So Saquon and Daniel Jones are going to be a dynamic duo next year.
Yeah, man, I agree. Last question. Who's the wide receiver one? Is it Slayton? Who's it going to be?
It's going to be a battle. I get this question all the time on my YouTube channel, but it's going to be a battle throughout the season. But eventually, towards the end of the season, it's going to be Darius Slayton. He's the younger guy. He's the guy with probably the best skill set. He still has some things to work on. He's not as experienced as a Golden Tate or a Sterling Shepard, but with Golden Tate's age, with Sterling Shepard's injury issues, Darius Slayton is going to wind up being on top for the Giants wide receivers.
Interesting. I think he led the team in targets, but man, Shepard was hurt last year. So,
right.
All right. FanToFanNetworkGuys.com under Giants. Kid Blue representing the Giants. Proud to have you, man. You're one of the most passionate guys out there doing the Giants, man. Better than anybody else. I appreciate it, man. It means the world to us being here, offering that insight. All right. We're moving on to who I think is one of our biggest, most passionate fan ambassadors. He's a huge fan, I'm telling you. And you're going to see it right now with his swag here. Let's pull up the Panthers. This is a huge fan. Look at this. I mean, is there a bigger fan than this? Super fan. Look at that. He's got the flag too.
Keep pounding.
Oh my goodness.
Let's get it. Real quick, Joe. I got to stop your show.
Let's do it.
Chris, I love you, Chris Johnson. I love you, baby. But you said something real blasphemous early. He said Zeke Elliott was the baddest running back on the face of the earth. How dare you you disturbed my soul when you said that.
Oh, no.
Christian McCaffrey is the baddest white boy on the face of this earth since John Travolta and Dance Disco Fever. Let's not play that, all right? Let's go, Joe. I'm with it today. Let's go.
Oh, my God, the energy. We should have had you come on first to set the tone. My goodness. But Chiseled Adonis was a close second in regards to energy, for sure. So, yeah, man, I mean, Chris Johnson, if you're listening, man, I hope you're listening. If not, we're going to record this. You can go back. I'm going to send this over to Chris Johnson. CMC, man, there's no way he's going to duplicate 116 receptions. Are you kidding me? He had more receptions than DeAndre Hopkins, who had 104. Not going to happen, man. I don't see it. New coach, new offense, new quarterback. They got Robbie Anderson. How do you see him having another good season?
Again, I still think his impact is going to be there. Okay, his production may not be there, but his impact is still going to be felt around the league. No linebacker is going to guard CMC one-on-one. Are you fucking kidding me? That's a disaster. You're going to put your heavy-foot-ass linebacker against my quick white lightning, and he's going to put him in the washer, so we're going to put him in a spin cycle. I wouldn't do it. Now, listen, because we got in Teddy Bridgewater, he's not as athletic as Cam Newton. We're definitely got weapons to spread around. And when you got weapons to spread around, you take away touches. Okay, so naturally, when you take away touches from the man, his production's not going to be there, but his impact will be felt in other ways.
Does he not have a new girlfriend? This is totally. Does Christian McCaffrey have a new girlfriend?
I'm not sure what's going on in the sack.
Because I heard he had a new girlfriend. That's going to impact his on-field performance. She might take some energy out prior to games.
But I do have some breaking news for you. Russell Okung, left tackle from the Carolina Panthers. He left practice earlier. Not sure why. They said it was due to some injury. This was the same guy that almost considered retiring due to COVID-19. Now he's considered injured. I mean, we don't need this shit right now.
No.
If I were you guys, I would pay attention to Quan Short, KK Short, the defensive tackle that's coming off a torn pectoral muscle. He is due $13 million this year. If we trade him, we can save that $13 million and we will acquire $9 million going into 2021. So now with Russell Okung not necessarily, again, injury prone, consider retiring, whatever the hell he's trying to do.
Right.
I would try to make a play with trading KK to boost up that left tackle spot. It's not looking good so far.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to watch your offense. Believe it or not, I got Teddy Bridgewater as a backup quarterback. He's in a backup in a big league that I'm in a fishbowl this year. So I'm expecting an efficient year out of him. It's a super flex quarterback, but I waited on quarterbacks. I was stuck with Teddy. I'm like, might as well get him. So hopefully he does well this year. I'm cheering for Teddy a bit.
Oh, it's going to be good to see accuracy in Carolina. We ain't seen that in about 9 years.
Right. So it's going to be interesting, man. So Big Cat representing Carolina due to a tight for time. That's why you guys got to follow here on Twitch, because I'm telling you, we're going to have all our ambassadors on. This is your source now. We've created something really special here. And again, man, is there a bigger fan than this? Look at this. Passionate.
Balls up, man. Balls up.
Thanks for being
Pounded.
Thanks for being on, Big Cat. Let's move on here. I don't even know who's next here. I've lost my focus. That was just too much. Beyond excited here. I think he's been waiting a while in the ranks here. We've got the Raiders ambassador. Oh my goodness, it's Darian. What's going on, man? We got some mic issues there. We lost. You're muted again. So there we go. You're back.
What's going on, Raiders? We're in the building, fresh off of vacation. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, FTFN Network? Thanks for having me on.
Man, I'm so excited that you're representing the Raiders, because when I was on my search trying to find the Raiders ambassador, you stuck out to me as the most passionate guy out there. And I don't just look for passion, but I look for insight. And it looks like you're dialed in. And I'm excited to have you on representing the Raiders here. And I'm super excited that you're a part of the team. You're the face of the Raiders, man. I don't know how to say it, man. I'm excited for you.
I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be the face of the Raiders, knowing that we're in a new stadium, new team, new state. We in Las Vegas now. I'm ready to roll. I'm ready to get this season rolling. I'm very excited for the Raiders season.
And I'm gonna go to the popular guy here. Your best offensive weapon. You can debate me all you want, and it's gonna be Josh Jacobs, man. How big of a year are you expecting out of Josh Jacobs? Can you give me his stat line at the end of the season as a floor? What are we expecting?
Well, for starters, last year he ran for almost 1,300 yards in 13 games, and he didn't even finish the year due to injury. Now, just imagine if he did play all 17 games. I can see him getting at least 1,400 yards, knowing that we did pick up a running back in Lynn Bowden Jr. in the draft, and we still got Jalen Richard to come out the backfield. But I still feel like Josh Jacobs is that number one guy for us that could get at least 1,400 yards and help us out in the passing game as well. So I say at least 1,400 yards and about the same touchdown ratio, about 12, 13 touchdowns.
I'm excited for him. Late round, first round pick. So durability should be, knock on wood, okay with Jacobs. We shouldn't. I mean, he had a bummed out shoulder, right? By like week 7, I heard, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had a bummed up shoulder. He still played until week 13, and then that's when he decided to get surgery.
Yeah, he's got some heart, man. So that shouldn't be a factor this year at all when you're looking at him, right? Hopefully.
No, it shouldn't be a factor at all. I think that knowing that we do have a 3-headed monster with Lynn Bowden as a rookie and Jalen Richard to help out, get some so he can have some rest and, so the third down situations, he could probably take a break. He won't have to get as much of the load that he did last year.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. Okay, now a lot of talk about this guy again. One last question, due to we're tight for time here. Henry Ruggs, is he the real deal? Because here's how I see it playing out. I don't think he's the best receiver out of the draft. They could have got themselves a Judy. Now, my first question is, why did they go Ruggs? And will he be a guy that's going to be targeted heavily every game, or will he be one of those volatile Tyreek Hill boom game, bust game, boom game, bust game? How do you see it playing out? Is he the real deal? And how's it going to play out for Ruggs?
Well, when I looked at it in the draft and when I did the draft, I was considering getting Jerry Jeudy or CeeDee Lamb. Even if I did my mock draft, I had those two. But I'm not mad at Henry Ruggs because if you look at it, if you look at the past of receivers that we did have, speed kills. So I see him as a Tyreek Hill type of player, but I do see him doing, running better routes this year. But I could definitely see him being a factor in getting targets, especially yards after the catch. That was a big thing for me that outplayed Jerry Jeudy and CeeDee Lamb, that he outdid them in yards after the catch. So if he could get him on those short slants or those screens and he could go for 13 to 14 yards after the catch for that, fine by me, knowing that we still have Hunter Renfrow on the slot. Tyrell Williams is coming back. And then we got some few tight ends that can help open up for Henry Ruggs as well. So it's just that our offensive line is healthy, keep Derek Carr pocket clean, and Henry Ruggs will definitely have a great year.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that insight. Thank you, guys. Spotlight Raiders, YouTube, and find them at Fan2Fan Network. Everything is there, guys. You can find all the ambassador information, Fan2Fan Network. You just slide down under teams, go under Raiders, and boom, there he is. Boom. All right, man. Thank you very much for joining us, Darian. I appreciate it. Let's move on here. I don't even know what's that.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Let's see who's on next here. We've got our lead writer. Let's get our lead writer here on with us. We got Matt on. Let me just queue up some other guys here. Matt, what is going on? One of our lead writers. What's happening, man?
Hey, what's going on, Joe? First of all, I am so thankful that I did not have to follow Big Cat. There is no chance that I was ever going to match that level of energy. Boy.
You just don't have the hat. If you have it's the hat, man. It's just as soon as he puts the hat on, everything changes.
I was fully expecting Dan to jump on here with the big chicken wing on his head. But I mean, Big Cat got him in the headwear department already.
All right. So thank you for being on, lead writer, Fan to Fan Network. I'm going to just open the floor with you for 2 minutes. What do you want to talk about? Let's keep it open.
Yeah, I mean, we've covered a lot of teams here, but one we haven't talked about is the Los Angeles Chargers and kind of how Tyrod Taylor is going to fit into that system this year with Philip Rivers going down to the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, I mean, okay, let me ask you this. When is Herbert going to start? What week is he going to come in? Because I'm not sold on Tyrod Taylor, man. Let's be honest.
See, but I am. Okay, so when you look at his 2015 season with Buffalo, he had over 3,000 passing yards and 20 touchdowns, and he was a huge, huge threat in the run game.
Right.
Because the Chargers are going away from that pocket passer in Rivers and to a more mobile quarterback in Tyrod Taylor, I think it's really going to revolutionize the offense. I mean, they lose Melvin Gordon to the Denver Broncos. And I mean, we kind of saw bits and pieces of what Austin Eckler could do last year, although he only recorded under 600 rushing yards. He was a threat in the pass game.
You know, again, I'm not sold on Eckler. Me and him went back and forth on social media. He had commented on one of my stuff. I said that he sucks because I don't want to draft him in fantasy. Now, he's a great player, great talent, obviously, but he sucks for fantasy. And then he said, why do I suck? And I said, well, you're not a full workhorse running back. 132 attempts, just over 500 yards-ish. What does he have, like 3 touchdowns? I'm like, that's why they brought in Joshua Kelly. So my question to you is, obviously, I don't think they believe in him near the red zone. I don't think he's going to be smashing some balls in the red zone. Do you think Kelly becomes the guy there for all of the rushing? Is it going to be a 1-2 punch with Kelly? Like, who's going to be the 2 there?
I think it's going to be they're really going to have to kind of it's going to be trial by fire, really. I mean, we saw last year how much of a disaster it was with Melvin Gordon holding out, and kind of Austin Eckler tried to step into that number 1 position, but like you said, he's not at every single down back. So they're really going to have to slot some players in here, slot some players in there, and really see what works. But again, to my first point, they do have Tyrod Taylor, who in that red zone can really run the read option. And if the running back can't pound it in, I'm sure Tyrod will find a chance to.
Yeah, man, I definitely see some upside with Taylor. He's everyone's sleeping on him for fantasy this year. I mean, he could be a backup with some upside, but again, with Herbert breathing down his neck, it's going to be interesting. Loses a couple games, Herbert comes in. There goes Tyrod. So, yeah, man, thank you for being on, man. Lead writer. If you guys are interested in writing for the site, you can apply as an ambassador at fantofannetwork.com, and it'll go through Matt here. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. All the best.
All right, let's move on here. Who do we have next here on the queue? According to my schedule here, we're going to bring in the smooth voice of Law Nation representing the Cowboys here. What is going on, Law? You got to unmute yourself. I got everybody muted.
No problem at all, man. Hey, I know it. I missed part of it, but I heard what people said about the path of the righteous man. Ezekiel Elliott being the best running back in the National Football League. Shame on the Panthers fans over there that think that CMC is the best. But hey, when you playing this game called football, you got to do it all, not just some of it. I'm talking about a brother that can block, catch the ball out of the backfield. And pardon me, since 2016, he got the most rushing yards collectively speaking. So I digress. How about them Cowboys? Let's go.
Yeah, I would say that Big Cat's opinion is a little biased here, and I'm going to go with the future Hall of Famer and your opinion and my opinion and say Zeke is better than Christian McCaffrey because of the reason that Chris Johnson said, and it was simply, well, he's more consistent. Anybody can hit the lottery once in a while, right? That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. It's good. I'm glad to be here, and shout out to everybody that's watching this, man. I can't wait to get this season kicked off.
This is huge, man. It's bigger than I anticipated. And again, this is our premiere. Once people start catching on, saying, "Oh my God, this is huge," we're gonna put the fans first here. It's all about fan. That's why it's fan to fan, right? But I got some questions for you. You are the Cowboys ambassador, huge on YouTube. What's your YouTube channel so people can find you? First of all.
Yes, that will be LAW Nation. Y'all just type that in anywhere you'll see my face, name, or logo. I'm there.
Law Nation, man. So I got some questions for you here. Again, I'm going to go a little bit with the popular opinion, the popular names. I'm going to throw those out here because I'm a fantasy head and I don't really care about defense. So I'm going to talk about it here. I was excited about Gallup this year. I was really excited about him getting a lot of volume. They brought in CeeDee Lamb. Now we got a three-headed monster. Is CeeDee Lamb and can CeeDee Lamb really emerge as a wide receiver 2 over Gallup? Or how does this play out? Will he be a huge target, or will he be targeted around 80, 83 times, similar to Cobb? Obviously a better player on paper than Cobb. How does this play out? Because we only saw 119 targets for Cooper last year. That could decline with CeeDee Lamb. How does this play out? Who's going to eat this year for wide receiver?
Mike McCarthy is pass happy, so you might get that. And on top of that, I think that this right here with CeeDee Lamb playing primarily in the slot, and everybody knows that they're going to roll coverage Amari Cooper way. So now you're talking about CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup. If you got a fantasy team, you might want to lean towards them because they're going to have so much volume as relates to yard productions or what have you. Here's the reason why. Gallup against second and third string DBs that will be out there is different between what Amari Cooper is going to take. And guess what? TD is also going against those second and third string or second or third DBs out there. So I think that both of those guys going to eat. And right now during practice, I know everything is a part of the hype land, but right now during practice, CeeDee Lamb is catching everything. And that's something that Cobb had issues with as well as Gallup last year playing basketball with the football.
Yeah, he's a dynamic playmaker, a wiry, good catcher, man. I'm excited to watch him, man. I'm really excited to see CeeDee Lamb in this offense. Like, they're literally, I'll end this with this because we're tight for time, obviously trying to get everybody introduced here. But Dak Prescott, okay, obviously, I don't know, do the Cowboys believe in him? You know, simple. Do they believe in him?
It's going to take Mike McCarthy to believe in him, right? But I think the Cowboys do. When I look at Mike McCarthy's resume, I think of Steve Bono. I think of Joe Montana. I think of Rich Gannon. I think of Aaron Brooks before Aaron Rodgers, right? He coached up the Saints when the Saints were playing. And I also think of Aaron Rodgers. I also think of Brett Favre. So I think of all of those people. And I look at what he's going to do with this particular team of putting Dak Prescott in the right places. A lot of people fail to realize Mike McCarthy comes from that old school mindset, but he loves tight end play too.
Right.
So I think that Blake Jarwin will have a crazy year this year. So a tight end is always the quarterback best friend. If you think I'm lying, check out Brent Jones. Check out Jay Novacek. Those are guys that's back in the days that used to catch the ball. Brent Jones for the 49ers, and also Jay Novacek for my Dallas Cowboys. So look for Blake Jarwin to step it up this year.
Before I let you go, two quick things. Any inside information from training camp that we should be aware of that's not being talked about right now?
We just picked up Everson Griffin. He will be out there in practice coming this Monday. Everybody in the office love him. Mike McCarthy said he stood up many of nights preparing for him, especially by him playing for the Minnesota Vikings. Now he's on the Cowboys team. So look for Everson Griffin to be that rotational guy that's going to wreak havoc on that front four, and it's going to be medieval this year. It's
going to be crazy. And last thing, record prediction. What are your thoughts, the Cowboys?
All right, so I'm not going to go 16-0. I have us pegged as 11-5.
That's fair. That's viable. I definitely see that, man. Appreciate you as always. Law Nation, what's going on, man? Appreciate you. Make sure you're following Fan to Fan Network under Cowboys representing them. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Let's move on here. Who do we have in the queue? We got to go a team that I'm high on. We got to go Packers here. Let's go. We got, am I pronouncing it right? I know I am. Basarowski Productions. What's going on?
How's it going, Joe? Thanks for having me. It's great that the Cowboys went before me because he's very high on Mike McCarthy. I love Mike McCarthy. I always did. There is times you will hate him. There is many times you will hate him where it seems almost like he's giving up the drive. Like he's playing to punt or he's playing not to lose. That's what annoyed me with him. But he's still a great coach, like you said, coaching quarterbacks. He's a big part in Aaron Rodgers' development, so I wish him the best with the Cowboys.
We got a funny comment. Too bad CeeDee Lamb will never see the playoffs. That's we got the wittiest fans here on Fan to Fan Network. I like that one. That's witty.
That's not my department.
So I got some questions for you. Bounce chip on his shoulder, Aaron Rodgers. He's got to be feeling the pressure this year. How does he perform this year? Does he step up? Is this a 2016 reminiscent type year for Aaron Rodgers bounce back, or does he become similar average past couple of years Aaron Rodgers? What are we expecting from A-Rod here?
Well, I'd hope for more of a 2014 than a 2016, because if you recall, 2016 didn't start that well. It was more the run the table that, vaulted Aaron Rodgers and that offense and that team into the playoffs. I don't think Aaron Rodgers sits here and is scared or worried about Jordan Love. I think Aaron Rodgers goes through the same motions every offseason, every year.
Right.
He's not going to be worried about the guy below him that they just drafted. Now, obviously, is it on his mind? Yes. But in my eyes, he's still Aaron Rodgers. And until the day he retires, he will still be Aaron Rodgers to me. And that same guy that I love to watch play and wows me every single game.
Yeah, I mean, I hope Aaron Rodgers, so much young blood with Lamar Jackson, Pat Mahomes entering the league. I remember back in 2015, 16, he was the guy. Hopefully he steps up this year. Anything else you want to talk about? Let us know about the Packers that we should be aware about going into the season, sleepers, breakouts, upside record, anything that you want to just divulge to us as fans of the Packers or fantasy heads. What do you want to tell us?
So a lot of people talk about Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. You included.
Dylan, yes.
Yeah. I'm assuming you saw the picture of AJ Dillon
days
ago in training camp.
Yes.
Looks like the tree. He's just
quads.
Massive. He's
I'm excited for fantasy. You can get this guy for value as a late round guy. Stash him. He's going to take the job. I could be wrong. What are your thoughts?
I don't say he'd take the job from Aaron Jones. I'm a huge Aaron Jones supporter, and I think he's an amazing back. I just don't see them paying him after this year. I don't see the Packers valuing a running back with that much money when they just drafted one in the second round. They just paid Kenny Clark $70 million over 4 years. They're going to have to play David Bakhtiari. And Kevin King. So I think Aaron Jones is below all them, in my opinion, especially since they drafted A.J. Dillon. I think A.J. Dillon's going to be the type of back like a juiced up Eddie Lacy is the best way I could say it, because he ran a 4.53. He's 247 pounds, 6 foot. I think he's going to be a workhorse type of back. I always wanted that in Green Bay. Aaron Jones isn't like an every down type back, in my opinion. I think he can be, but with A.J. Dillon here, it's going to be more keeping both healthy. And then you also have Jamal Williams, who's a good back as well. So you got a good three-headed monster there.
Yeah, man. So I got to ask you one more thing here. So Dillon, if he gets integrated, okay, let's say he gets integrated, how much and when does he get integrated? So I'm asking you, yes, he gets integrated, but how much? That's my question, right?
So my thoughts are, I think early in the year, Jamal Williams would still be that kind of goal line guy. I think early in the year. And Jamal Williams is the best pass blocking running back on the team, in my opinion. I think Jamal Williams is going to get his touches early, but over time, when A.J. Dillon learns more and more and more and comes into the game in late down snaps or just over injury, hope not, but over injury, I think by the end of the year, A.J. Dillon's going to be that goal line back, that short yardage back. They're still going to use Aaron Jones on early downs, I think. But I think A.J. Dillon will be that goal line back.
All right, man. I appreciate you being here, man. And I'm having some technical difficulties with my camera here. It's like I can't go any longer. You guys have been going forever. So yeah, too long of a meeting. It's okay. We'll get it back. I think I'm back.
I see you clear.
I think I'm back. All right, I'm back. There you go. Technical difficulty. Thank you for being here, man. Basarowski Productions, one of the top YouTubers for the Packers, the face of Green Bay. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Means the world to us for that inside information. All right, man. Go Pack, go. All right, let's get one of my favorite ambassadors. Talk about a guy that knows everything. The jerk of all trades. I always say that about myself because I know everything about fantasy. I'm just joking. Listen, JT, man, we appreciate you. Your knowledge is really second to none. You divulge into every single team. What's going on, man?
What's up, Joe? Thanks for having me on, man. I'm excited to be here, man.
Excited, man. Okay, you represent so many teams. You're on our page. You're one of the brand ambassadors for Around the League. You can find him on the Around a League page, Fan to Fan Network. Again, I've talked to him. Very, very knowledgeable on every team. And now that I'm done kissing your ass, what team do you want to talk about? Give us some inside information on a team that maybe the Falcons, whatever team you want to talk about that we haven't touched on, and give us some inside information on training camp. Anything.
I want to talk about the Bengals. Can I talk about the Bengals?
Talk about whatever you want, man. You got 4 minutes.
Man, the Cincinnati Bengals, man. So I want to talk about Joe Burrow. So a lot of people think Joe Burrow might struggle because, he's a rookie getting acclimated to the system. But a couple of months ago, it was a report that came out and said that Joe Burrow is so ahead of learning the playbook that the Cincinnati Bengals coaching staff had to tell him to slow down.
Wow.
The coaches can't keep up with the way Joe Burrow is learning the playbook. And Joe Burrow is a great leader. All I've been hearing throughout the Cincinnati Bengals training camp is about Joe Burrow and his leadership ability. So, if there was a rookie or quarterback that's in a new system or learning a new system that I would have confidence in, it would be Joe Burrow. I really love Joe Burrow. And that defense, man, they just signed Mike Daniels. I think the Cincinnati Bengals have one of the most underrated defensive lines in the NFL. You got Sam Hubbard, 8.5 sacks last year. You got Geno Atkins, who, other than T.Y. Hilton, Geno Atkins has been the most underrated player in the NFL the past decade. He's made several All-Pro teams, several Pro Bowl selections. So, the Cincinnati Bengals, man, that defensive line is going to be absolutely scary, man.
Yeah, man. A lot of people suspect in regards to Burrow, but it sounds like he's going to pick up the playbook good. He's advanced. AJ Green, man, hard to trust him for fantasy and reality. Is he the guy, or does T. Higgins step up during the season as a rookie? What happens here?
Well, here's the thing. I still think AJ Green is going to be the number one wide receiver because you got to think, he's in a contract year. And, in fantasy football, I don't know about you, but I always like guys who are in contract years because those guys tend to go absolute harder. And not only is AJ Green trying to get a new contract, but he's 30-something years old. I think he's 31 or 30. He's still trying to prove that despite his age, he still has what it takes to be one of the more dominant players in the NFL. Now, when it comes to T. Higgins, I still think that T. Higgins is the third wide receiver on the depth chart because you got my guy Tyler Boyd, who Tyler Boyd should have went to the Pro Bowl. He's had 2 1,000-yard seasons. And when AJ Green's injured, Tyler Boyd was really a guy who has stepped up and filled that role at that number one wide receiver slot for the last 2 seasons in AJ Green's absence. I had him on my fantasy football team. He's really produced for me. So I think T. Higgins will probably be the third wide receiver. He'll be the outside, and then, you just move Tyler Boyd to the slot. Now, John Ross is really interesting. I think John Ross is a guy who has a lot of potential, and he got injured last year. He had 500 yards. If he never got injured, he probably would have neared 1,000 yards last season. So I like the Bengals receiving corps. I like Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon has had 1,000 yards last 2 seasons with one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. So I think he's going to be in for a really phenomenal season as well, and he's looking to get paid also.
Yeah, man, that's great insight. I want to talk really quickly about the Falcons here. Todd Gurley, are you concerned about the arthritis? Be honest, because I love him. I know you're not high on him. I don't think as much as I am. But Todd Gurley, you got to show the man some respect, man. He could have a breakout year again.
Man, listen, I drafted Todd Gurley in my first round of my Yahoo Sports Fantasy League. So the dude better be ready to play. Now, reportedly, it was some conflicting reports saying that he was limping. Now, a couple of Falcons people I talked to, they said the reports weren't true, but then you got some conflicting guys who also, it's not really a lot of people there, so we really can't confirm it, but it has been confirmed that Todd Gurley is expected to be limited in training camp, which is reasonable because, with the arthritis, they got to keep it healthy. So, man, you bash on Dalvin Cook for not being able to stay healthy, but with Todd Gurley, man, I just don't know, man. I think he'll be good for the first 8 weeks, but then after the midway point, that's when I really can't really trust him like that because the arthritis can flare up anytime. So I like Todd Gurley. He better be healthy.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Well, JT Sports, how do they find you on YouTube?
All you gotta do is type in JT Sports. I'm the first person who pops up. And I'm uploading all kinds of content. I'm uploading NFL content, college football content. Basically, if you love football, make sure to subscribe and check out JT Sports. I upload 8 videos a day, so I have no life.
I want to go on record. You came on to Fan. I want people to remember your name because I think you're an absolute beast with sports analysis. And I just remember this guy's name. Whoever is watching, remember his name. He's going places. All right, man. JT, thank you, man, for being here.
Thank you for having me on.
Appreciate it, man. Talk soon. All right, we got one more guy and leave the worst for last. I'm picking on him already, man. I'm talking to our Dolphins guy, Dougie, who's driving.
Yes, I am driving right now.
Doug,
I'm actually driving, so I wanted to make sure that I was on here with you guys for the premiere of FTFN Network. This is huge, and I couldn't not do it, Joe. I had to come on here, and I got my dolphin head on just so people know who I am.
Save the best for last, man. So I'm excited that you're here. Won't hold you up too long. I know you're busy there, but listen, Tua, when does he take the starting job? Because we know Fitzmagic fizzles out, after a few games, right? So what happens with the quarterback situation here?
That is the biggest story coming out of the Miami Dolphins training camp right now. You have Tua Tagovailoa. You have Ryan Fitzpatrick, who has been in Chan Gailey's offense for 5 years, now his 6th year. And you have Josh Rosen, who a lot of fans don't think gets a fair crack at that starting position because he was on the horrible Arizona Cardinals, no offense, AZ. And he was on, we had an absolute horrible offensive line last year. So the big debate now is, okay, say you don't want to start Tua because you're afraid of the injury or because you want him to grow and become the better quarterback. Is it Rosen or is it Fitz? A lot of people think Fitz because, like I said, Fitz has been in the offense the 6th year. Or is it Rosen? I honestly think Fitz, we've all seen Fitz. We can see what he does. There's Fitz magic and then there's Fitz tragic. I think come mid-season, if his arm starts to go dead like it kind of normally does, I think you'll see Tua in there. I know I'm going to get a lot of flack from Rosen fans, but I think by mid-season, you'll probably see Tua.
All right, I won't hold you up. Last question here. Another big question that comes up. I'm not really wowed by any of your running backs. I'm not excited about Howard or anything like that. But I got to ask, Preston Williams or Parker, who it could be the wide receiver one there? Because I think both these guys are really talented, and I think one of them is going to emerge. Who do you think is going to rise above?
Definitely, those two are going to be the top notch, the next Clayton and Duper combination, hopefully, as a Dolphin fan, hopefully. But in all honesty, Preston Williams has something about him that you just got to look for. And I love Devontae Parker. Don't get me wrong. We finally got that 1,000-yard season.
Right.
I need to see it again because for so long, his little injuries would hold him back. So if I had to pick the one that I'm really looking forward to, Preston Williams. I love the physicality, the size, and everything this kid brings.
The ceiling is exciting. Now it's just a matter of the gelling with the quarterbacks. And has he been gelling with the quarterbacks from what you've heard at training camp right now?
I've noticed that he's been doing a lot with Fitz. And again, that puts that whole thing of, hey, Fitz is starting because he's throwing to Parker, he's throwing to Preston. Is Fitz the starter? And I've seen Tua throw a lot more to the secondary guys with Grant and with Malcolm Perry, the 7th round pick. So I've seen that gel with Fitz, so we'll see if that is a telltale sign of who's starting week 1.
Man, am I excited, man. I'm excited. And I'm telling you, I mean, I'd say the Jets are the weakest link in your division. I could be wrong. Yeah. I like the ceiling of your players. I really do. I don't know if I'm sold. You got a tough division again, obviously. But I think they have obviously a better year than last year. You've guys made some really good improvements in that draft. I'm excited to. I'm saying things I never thought I'd say. I'm actually excited to watch the Dolphins this year.
Right.
So, man, I said a lot of things I shouldn't have said this episode. Man, thank you, man. We appreciate you genuinely. I'm glad I was in the search to create FTFN Network, and I'm so glad that I was able to find the best ambassadors for every team, the most passionate, and obviously, without a reasonable doubt, you're the number one guy for the Dolphins, and it's an honor to have you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you, and be sure to hit that follow on here, guys. This is something huge. You're going to see a lot of this stuff before NFL games. Be sure to follow us on Twitch, guys.
Virtual tailgate, man, and getting those fans involved. We're going to start doing that a lot more. Thank you, man, for being on. Doug Lee Do Wrong. Go follow him on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you. All right, man. That wraps up our show. Wow, that's a lot to cover, man. My head's been spinning. I can't believe we've been going for 2 hours and like 15 minutes or so. It's been exciting, guys. FTFN Network. I want to create something for you guys because I want to bring the most passionate sports fans in one spot, ambassadors, I should say, of the team, because I was just sick of the mainstream consensus rankings. I was just sick of the mainstream fantasy football analysts, and of course, the white collar mainstream analysts. And I just think that there is a lack of realism, not only with the news and information that's coming out, which is cookie cutter, but also the interaction with the fans, which is what we're going to start integrating more and more as we grow. So it's imperative, guys, that you make sure you guys follow here on Twitch at FTFN Network, at FTFN, wherever you're watching this, whether it be a restream or whether I post this on YouTube. Eventually, I think I'll get this on YouTube. Wherever you're watching, follow at FTFN Network. This is something huge because something that trumps everything else is passion. It beats everything. And I'm telling you guys, this is something really special. And again, there's a lot of passion here. And I want you guys to come on and represent your fan base. So make sure you guys are following at FTFN on Twitch and FTFN Network on Instagram. Welcome to FTFN Network, guys. Thank you for being here. Subscribe and make sure you guys stay tuned. And a schedule will be coming out in regards to how often we're going to be doing virtual tailgates as the season ramps up. But this was our premiere show. Thank you for being here. Thank you for Chris Johnson as well for taking the time out. Future Hall of Famer, elite talent guy who did amazing things in the NFL. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you. FTFN Network, follow. And guess what, guys? We are out. Thank you.